Network scoreboard with a couple of updates, Morgan.
Mick, in the ACC, Clemson 21-10 over Wake Forest, minute and a half left. Also, NC State losing big to Purdue, 42-21. Now back to Tallahassee.
At halftime of today's game, we'll have a live interview with Florida State AD Dave Hart. Now stay tuned for keys to the game. Coming up next from Tallahassee on the Tar Heel Sports Network.
Faster, easier delivery, rock-bottom prices, and the pick of all remaining 96s. That's what you'll find at High Point Nissan this weekend. This is it. All the 96s have to go. And to make sure they go now, High Point Nissan has reduced prices so drastically they can't even announce the actual figures on air. All we can say is, don't miss this sale.
What are you yelling for?
Listen, brand new 96 Pathfinders, Maximas, and Quest, all loaded, are discounted up to $3,000. And everything, but everything is priced to save you more than ever before.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Credit specialists on site, dozens of financing options, and extra staffing are designed expressly to make your purchasing and delivery process faster and easier. And High Point Nissan will be open extended hours today for your shopping convenience. If you're in the market for any new car, van, truck, or sport utility vehicle, this is it. It's time to make your choice at High Point Nissan, 1810 South Main Street, High Point.
I'm going to High Point Nissan right now.
This is Big Mixing with Woody Durham and Rick Steinbacher. Time now for our keys to the game. Fellas, defensively, Carolina is at or above FSU's level. Offensively, the Heels are getting close, but the Noles have a special team savvy that the Heels do not. Would he like a block punt or a long return?
Well, defensively, Carolina may have the better linebackers and the better secondary, but FSU's got a terrific defensive line, Mick, anchored by two of the best defensive ends in college football. Byron Thomas and Mike Baxter must keep Renard Wilson and Peter Boulware from disrupting the Tar Heel offense. Rick Steinbacher, what's it look like from along the Carolina sideline?
The key for Carolina's defense today is the play of cornerbacks Robert Williams and Dre Bly. If those two can continue to, as they have in the first three games, neutralize the wide receivers of Florida State with tough bump and run coverage, that will allow the 9 other Carolina defenders to crowd the line of scrimmage and gang tackle Warrick Dunn.
And so we've come to the threshold of what would be them I just told you about, Renard Wilson and Peter Boulware. The tackle is Cannell Spain. The nose guard is Andre Wadsworth. The linebackers, there are 3 of them, Vernon Crawford, Daryl Bush, and Henry Crockett. The corners are Troy Saunders and Byron Capers, and the safeties are Shevin Smith and Sean Hamlet. So that's the way these teams stack up as we get ready to go. And if you're outside our listening area, remember you can still hear the Tar Heel Sports Network game broadcast. Just visit the Tar Heel Sports website at www.goheels.com. Woody Durham, Nick Mixon, Rick Steinbacher, and our Tar Heel Sports Network crew. Shot set up today, Tallahassee, Florida. Scott Bentley gets the whistle from referee Courtney Mose. Leon Johnson waiting at the goal line. Straightaway kick, high, deep, end over end. It'll carry completely out of the end zone. Well, Johnson caught it about 9 yards deep and backed over the end line. So Carolina, without 1 second ticking off the clock, will go 1st and 10 from its own 20-yard line. And let me set the stage. We are high above the west stands in renovated Doak Campbell Stadium. The Tar Heels in blue helmets, white jerseys, and blue pants will be moving from right to left. That's from south to north here at Doak Campbell. Chris Keldorf in a stand-up huddle brings the Tar Heels up to the line of scrimmage. He'll send Nay Brown to the left, and L.C. Stevens splits out to the right. Chris Watson is offset to the left. Florida State showing a 6-man front now as the 2 linebackers move up close in the gap. The give is off to Leon Johnson coming off the left side. Leon is out to the 29-yard line before he's knocked down on the play by strong safety Shevin Smith. But it is a good start for Leon Johnson, the 3rd leading rusher in the ACC. Mickey's averaging just under 4 yards a carry, 85 yards a game. He has not scored, however, since the Clemson game.
Looked like an inside rushing play, but the hole had closed down, so Leon bounced it quickly outside, just off of the hip of his left tackle, and picked up 9 big ones.
Freddie Jones, the tight end, will split to the right. Be in the slot with Nay Brown. L.C. Stevens is to the left. Chris Watson getting a check off from Keldorf. Again, a 6-man front for the Seminoles. Keldorf to Leon Johnson. 1st down to the 31. Started over his left guard, cut back to his right. Principal stop made by Andre Wadsworth. the junior nose guard, but it will be 1st and 10 for the Tar Heels. What a story Wadsworth is. And Mick, there's so many in this Florida State camp. He arrived in Tallahassee as a 6'1", 220-pound walk-on. He is 6'4", 282 as a junior.
With a 485-pound bench press and a 39-inch vertical leap. Unheard of numbers for a down lineman.
Nay Brown flanks to the right side. L.C. Stevens is split to the left. The quarterbacks come up and play a man-to-man. Watson in motion to the left. The give is off to Leon Johnson. Sidesteps one tackler, but then runs into Henry Crockett, the weak side linebacker, after only about a yard gain on the play, maybe not even a yard. Let's call it 2nd down and 10, 31. Early minutes of the game here at Doak Campbell in Tallahassee. No score, 13:45 still to play, opening quarter. That is a constant sound you will hear throughout the afternoon. The Seminole marching band just down to our right in the south end zone. Well, that familiar theme and the tomahawk chop from these partisan Seminole fans. 2nd down and 10. Keldorf gives off on the counter play to Leon Johnson. Good running room out to the 36. Driving right in behind his right guard, Brian Honeycutt, and his right tackle, Mike Baxter. Henry Crockett and Shevin Smith make the tackle for Florida State. Gain of 4, 3rd down and 6. Carolina on the year, converting 48% of its 3rd down plays. Florida State, however, allowing the opposition less than a 20% completion rate.
Chris Keldorf, for all his passing skill and good decision-making, doesn't get the credit he deserves for being a good ball handler. He's an excellent faker with either hand at the line of scrimmage.
Carolina will come up now with wings right and left. L.C. Stevens out to the left side. Chris Watson, the fullback, in motion. Keldorf back to throw. Quick throw. Got Watson wide open. 40, 45, midfield. Into Florida State territory and out of bounds at the Seminole 45-yard line. Taken out on the play by Sean Hamlet and also by Samari Roll. So Carolina's got a 1st down and crosses midfield on its first possession by converting the first 3rd down play of the game.
And Chris Watson, slow to get up. He delivered a blow to the 2 defenders that came over to meet him on the right sideline, and it looked like the kind of helmet-on-helmet collision that could possibly result in a concussion. Let's go to Rick Steinbacher on our first Cellular One sideline report of the afternoon. Steiny?
Carolina's trainers were quick to meet Chris Watson as he came off the field. You're exactly right, Mick. I was standing about 10 yards from where that blow delivered. It was helmet to helmet. Looks like he just got his bell rung. We'll check and see if it's anything more serious.
Jonathan Litton's coming at fullback. He'll line up as a wing on the right side. L.C. Stevens goes right. Nay Brown is flanked out to the left. Leon Johnson, the lone running back, playing in Leon County today, if you will. Leon Johnson stumbling over the left side, gets inside the 45 to about the 43. Henry Crockett, the Pompano Beach, Florida senior linebacker, makes the stop. Call it a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9. Carolina's had the ball now for nearly 3 minutes as the Tar Heels have moved off their own 20 with a 2nd down and 10 at the Florida State 43.5. Byron Thomas, Jonas Geathers, Jeff Saturday, Brian Honeycutt, Mike Baxter, all along that forward wall. Now something new for Carolina, Nick, a new wrinkle. Leon Johnson's in the slot to the left side. Keldorf to throw. Puts it out to Leon, and he can't hold it. It's thrown high. He tried to make a jumping catch of the ball right in front of strong safety Shevin Smith. So the incompleted forward pass brings up 3rd and long for the Tar Heels at the Florida State 43. Jonathan Linton and Freddie Jones going out as Carolina will come now on Greg Davis's offensive call with 4 wide receivers. Jason Peace and Darren Ashford come in the game. Peace and Ashford will come wide left. Brown and Stevens go wide right. Keldorf pointing out the defensive front of Florida State. He'll be in the shotgun for the first time today, and we get a whistle. Play has been stopped. Coming in was the line judge from along the sideline, and Florida State has taken a timeout. What's this? The Seminoles not yet ready for Carolina's 4 wide receiver set. Well, one thing you can get ready for is a Beefmaster Frank, North Carolina's favorite. Beefmaster Franks. You know by now, they're the steak eaters, Frank.
There's just something people like.
Win this dang thing.
8th play of this drive that started at the Carolina 20. Tar Heels facing 3rd down and 9 at the Florida State 43. 4 wideouts. 2 go to the right, 2 come to the left. Keldorf's in the shotgun with Leon Johnson just to his left. Pumps his leg. Jeff Saturday will make the call. Gets the snap. Keldorf looking. Airs it out over the middle. Almost intercepted by Henry Crockett and dropped. Flag goes down. Late flag on the play. Thrown by the head linesman, Charles Neely, and he is talking to the back judge. So let's wait and see what we got, and it apparently is going to be against Florida State. A dead ball foul, most likely a personal foul. Here's referee Courtney Mose.
On the defense. First down.
They call interference on the defense.
Pass interference, which will be a first down for Carolina. That flag came in so late that I was thinking it might have been some post-play infraction.
Ball is at the 34-yard line of Florida State, so first down, keeping this drive alive. Tar Heels come up now with a slot formation. Dave Brown and L.C. Stevens to the left side. Chris Watson back in at fullback, right in front of Leon Johnson. Good to see the Clayton senior back. Here's Keldorf giving off to Johnson. Good hole. Well, it closes quickly left side. Looked like LJ was going to have quite a bit of running room, and it closed quickly at the 33. Give him only a yard on the play. Second down, 9 yards to go for Carolina. Credit Andre Wadsworth, second-team All-ACC performer last year for the Seminoles, with yet another tackle. 11.5 minutes to go first quarter. No score. The skies, they've been cloudy most of the afternoon, are growing even darker. There's a cold front moving across North Florida from west to east. Wind is blowing hard. Carolina working right into that wind now. And we expect rain, and now Carolina's going to take a timeout. Tar Heels take a timeout.
Timeout, North Carolina.
Chris Keldorf calling it. He wants to go over and talk to head coach Mac Brown. He's on the phone upstairs, of course, with offensive coordinator Greg Davis, and so they'll have a chance to talk about this situation here in Tallahassee. 11:14 left to play. 11:14 left to play. First quarter, and we'll stay right here at Doak Campbell Stadium.
You measly, raggedy bunch of sorry, good-for-nothing puppies! You call yourselves a football team? You've been dishing out more slop than a pig farmer in July! You are a disgrace to the uniform! I've never had the displeasure of witnessing a more pathetic excuse for a team than you lily-lick, side-sack, puff-brain, prima donna wannabes!
Wish your coach were more pleasant? Fly Midway Airlines. Our coach is exceedingly pleasant. So's our first class. For reservations, call 1-800-44-MIDWAY.
Proud sponsor of UNC football.
I've never been to a college campus. It was great.
We met some football players.
Yeah, we went to a class.
The Exxon ACC Kids in College program is part of Exxon's continuing commitment to education. This program brings deserving middle school students to an ACC university to expose them to campus life and help motivate them to establish goals and start planning now for the future.
You know, it got me thinking seriously about college. It really did.
Exxon is an official corporate partner of the ACC.
Woody Durham, Nick Mixon, Rick Steinbacher, Doak Campbell Stadium, Tallahassee. Tar Heels after the timeout, 2nd and 9, Seminole 33. Keldorf on the draw to Leon Johnson, trying to get the corner turn, runs into resistance at the 31 left side. Boy, he got by the first wave of Garnet assault troops, but then he runs right into Henry Crockett, Pompano Beach senior linebacker, and Byron Capers, the senior boundary corner from Marietta, Georgia. Third down, Mick.
Tough to get outside of Florida State for two reasons. One, their unbelievable team speed. They really chase the football. Also, Florida State's defensive ends are upfield type players. They love to play in the rush mode, and the Seminoles angle them out a little bit wider than most teams do in their 4-3.
Keldorf brings Carolina up. He'll put Chris Watson as a wing on the left. Dave Brown to the right side. Watson in motion through the formation. Movement up front by the Seminoles. Keldorf to throw. Looking, and he'll be taken down back at the 35. No flag on the play, although movement was detected along the front wall. Renard Wilson. Renard Wilson, 2 sacks shy of a Florida State record, makes the tackle. The senior from Lake City, Florida. Loss is back to the 36, and Carolina's field goal unit is coming on the field.
Tar Heel offensive line did the best they could to hold up against that Florida State all-out blitz, man coverage behind the blitz, and as Rick Steinbacher will go to Steiny in a second, but the Seminoles are just crowding the line of scrimmage, playing off Carolina's receivers at the line of scrimmage with the linebackers right on the line, just daring the Tar Heels to throw the football against them.
Carolina may have to burn another timeout. The Tar Heels do not have enough men on the field, but now Chris Watson is coming out there. So Derek DePriest will be down on one knee at about the 42-yard line, and the clock is run out. But Carolina got it stopped. The play clock, by calling a timeout. And that is the first sign of confusion thus far this season on the part of the Tar Heels here on 4th and 12 from the 36, and they were about to call on
No score. Carolina's had the ball this entire game. 9:30 to play, first quarter. The Heels lining up for what would be a
53-yard field goal off the left hash mark. The streamers at the top of the goalpost are not blowing, but up around the rim of the stadium, there is a hard wind blowing out of the north. Snap, spot, kick, blocked by Florida State at the line of scrimmage. Caught out of the air by Henry Crockett, and down he goes at the 30-yard line. Florida State sent a man right up the middle, leaping high in the air and getting that low line drive by Josh McGee, who on the year had been 4 of 5 with a 47-yarder at Syracuse. So Florida State gets the ball after waiting nearly 6 minutes. 9:21 to play first quarter. Florida State takes over with its no-huddle offense, 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line.
The Tar Heels gained 6 yards in field position.
Thad Busby, the junior from Pace, Florida, 92 Florida High School Play of the Year. Looked like he would be in a shotgun. Now comes under center. The handoff is to Warrick Dunn. Dunn trying to get to the outside. Stiff arms one tackler, tries to cut it back to the middle of the field, out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. So it'll be a run of 7 yards for Warrick Dunn, averaging better than 6 yards a carry, 89 yards per game. Thus far in the first 2 games, he has rushed for 70 and 108 yards. Actually, they mark it at the 36, so call it 2nd down and 4 at the 36 for the Seminoles. Carolina showing a 5-man front. They move to the right now, shifting to the right. Kay Mays up on the line of scrimmage as one of the 3 inside backers. Thad Busby faking, back to throw, looking over the middle, looking, will shoot it sideline, caught and down immediately at the 35-yard line. Tackle on the play by Brian Simmons and Kay Mays as the pass was complete to Dunn. Not only does Warrick Dunn, the senior from Baton Rouge, lead the Seminoles in rushing with 28 carries compared to only 3 for Rock Preston. Mickey's the leading pass receiver, 7 catches. That was his 8th for 51 yards.
Good coverage downfield forced Busby to try to go to one of his check down receivers. Carolina had that underneath pass defense well.
Busby split into the right, flanker left, moves up under center. 3rd down and 5, 35, no score. Busby, quick drop, looking, going to hang one up, and it is overthrown, intended for Andre Cooper. Covering on the play, Dre Bly at about the Carolina 35-yard line, and so the Seminoles are 3 and out, and Sean Liss is coming on to kick it away. Nick, out of 39 opposition possessions this year, the Carolina defense has been 3 and out on 16 occasions.
Yeah, key there was that 2nd down pass play the Tar Heels had well covered, because the Noles had picked up 6 yards on 1st down. Looked like they had something going, but I'll tell you, this Carolina defense is as good as advertised, it appears.
Clay Ingram, the deep snapper on punts. Liss waiting at about the 20. It's a high snap. Rush is coming. Liss gets it away. Bly waiting for it. He'll field it at the 22. Starts far side. Gets by the first man downfield. Looking for a block. Can't make it. Taken down on the far sideline by Vernon Crawford, one of the starting linebackers for the Seminoles. And so Carolina, after that 42-yard punt and 2-yard return, with 7:48 to play in the first quarter and still no score, will get the ball 1st and 10 at its own 24-yard line.
A couple of final scores in the league. Let's get Morgan Patrick with you. Morgan.
Pick in the ACC. Wake Forest has lost to Clemson the final 21-10. Purdue, a big win over NC State. 42-21 the final. Watson has a 222 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game. Now back to Tallahassee.
1st down and 10. Carolina off its own 24-yard line. Lights are already starting to have an effect. Quick sideline throw. Caught L.C. Stevens. Got out of one tackle on the part of James Colsey and fights his way to the 30-yard line right in front of the Carolina bench. Shevin Smith makes the tackle on the play, so it's a gain of 6, and it will be 2nd down and 4.
Well, the Seminoles are a mirror image of the Tar Heels in terms of what they do defensively, except for the Tar Heels play an even more daring brand of man-to-man coverage called a bump and run. More about it in a second.
Keldorf will be under center. He's got L.C. Stevens to the right. Nay Brown out to the left as the flanker. Flint backs behind it. The give is off to Leon Johnson on the counter play. Good stop by Wadsworth, or there might have been a lot of running room for the Morganton senior. So the gain is to the 31 of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Tar Heels are 2 of 3 in converting 3rd down plays thus far, and we've got a Tar Heel shaken up. Looks like it might be one of the offensive linemen for Carolina, and I believe it is, well, we're trying to count everybody's nose.
to the pregame and postgame on
It may be Brian Honeycutt, the right guard, but we're not certain of that.
Brought to you in part by Sprint, your local Southern Ford dealers.
Down at the 32-yard line. Clock is stopped, 7:02 left to play. First quarter here from Tallahassee. Still dark, ominous clouds here in Tallahassee as that front moves from west to east across the upper part of the Sunshine State, and rain was forecast. And we're expected to get some before this game is over. While they continue to attend to the Tar Heel player who is injured on the play at the 33-yard line. Time for us to tell you that already today, as you heard a moment ago, Clemson has won at home over Wake Forest, and NC State loses at Purdue.
You measly, raggedy bunch of sorry, good-for-nothing puppies! You call yourselves a football team? You've been dishing out more slop than a pig farmer in July! You are a disgrace to the uniform! I've never had the displeasure of witnessing a more pathetic excuse for a team than you lily-lick, side-sack, puff-brain, prima donna wannabes!
Wish your coach were more pleasant? Fly Midway Airlines. Our coach is exceedingly pleasant. So's our first class. For reservations, call 1-800-44-MIDWAY.
Proud sponsor of UNC football.
Back in Tallahassee, 0-0 your score, 7:02 to play first quarter, and the injured player is indeed Honeycutt for the Tar Heels, Brian Honeycutt, and we'll have Rick Steinbacher bird dog that. They've just helped Brian off of the field.
Mike Hopgood, the Durham junior, has come in to replace him at right guard. So it'll be 3rd and 3 Carolina. The ball at the Tar Heel 31-yard line. No score in the ball game as yet. Still first quarter Tallahassee. Less than 7 minutes to go. Keldorf to throw. Looking, and down he will go. Flags are down all over the place. Keldorf taken down back at about the 27, 26-yard line. Renard Wilson was there, as you expect either he or Peter Boulware to be a lot of times when the quarterback cannot find an open receiver. Discussion going on. Referee Courtney Mose, and he will give us the infraction.
It's going to be a face mask on Florida State.
Personal foul on the defense. Face mask, 15 yards. First down.
What happened on that play was that Renard Wilson basically pushed his man, the man assigned to block him for Carolina, back into Keldorf, and as he was going by Keldorf, he reached out with a big left paw and grabbed the face mask and yanked Keldorf's head. So that's a big penalty, 15 yards, and an automatic first.
And it moves the ball out to the Carolina 46-yard line. So the Tar Heels, who took the opening kickoff and moved down to the Florida State 31 before then having a field goal attempt of 53 yards blocked, inch closer to midfield. Bay Brown to the left, L.C. Stevens to the right. Keldorf to throw. He's going up top for L.C. Stevens, and he throws it too far. Colsey covering on the play. James Colsey, the field cornerback. So the incompleted forward pass will bring up second down and 10 at the 46. And Vic, that's what you have to do against Florida State's defense. You have to take some early deep shots.
Yeah, you gotta pry them loose of you and keep them off of you to hopefully open up some creases in the running game. Quickly to Rick Steinbacher on the Cellular One sideline update.
Florida State is playing a much tighter man than they have in the past. They're kind of doing what Carolina does, playing bump and run coverage, getting real tight. Carolina thought that L.C. Stevens could beat them deep. They may go back to it in a few plays.
L.C. Stevens will come to the left side this time with Leon Johnson in the slot for a second time. Nay Brown out way wide to the right. Keldorf back to throw. Looking, throwing, intended for Leon Johnson. Incomplete, overthrown at about the 30-yard line. Covering on the play was James Colsey, and he has a little something to check it. It was Shevin Smith, the strong safety. He has a little something to say to Leon as that ball gets overthrown out of bounds. So that will bring up now 3rd down and 10. Ball still at the Carolina 46-yard line.
Well, the ball has sailed on Keldorf, Woody, a couple of times, but the one thing Chris continues to do and has done in his career at Carolina is when he doesn't complete it to the Tar Heel guys, at least he doesn't throw it to their guy.
2 out of 5 for 27 yards thus far. Message board on the scoreboard asking this crowd to get louder, and it responds. Keldorf in the shotgun. High snap. Keldorf, quick throw. Complete. Caught by Nay Brown, taken down at the 48. Gain of only 2 on the play. Byron Capers. Or check it, James Colsey. Colsey, the field corner, not Capers, the boundary corner, making the tackle. So the Tar Heels, 3 out of 5 and 3rd down conversions, will have to kick it away. And Florida State will lay its ears back and come after Derek DePriest. You can count on that. Chris Allnutt, the freshman from Laytonsville, Maryland, will make the deep snap. Dupree standing at about the 35. Gets the snap. Gets it away. High hanging kick. Deep for Florida State is Chevin Smith. Here he comes back up the middle of the field trying to get the corner turn. Oh, it's Dee Feaster. Feaster knocked down at the 36-yard line. Dee Feaster, the sophomore from Rock Hill, South Carolina. And so Florida State will start 1st and 10 from its own 37-yard line. It was a 33-yard punt and a 21-yard return by Feaster, who is averaging about 50.
The Highway 87 exit off US 29 North Reedsville. Call the man with 2 last names at 1-800-255-4595 for a quote by phone today.
No score, Seminole ball. Word from the sideline, Honeycutt's got a sprained right knee. He'll be out for the game. We pause 10 seconds for station ID on the Tar Heel Sports Network.
WKSI Greensboro. You're listening to Tar Heel Sports on Continuous Country. 98.7 KISS Country.
That Carolina punt allowed Florida State to gain about 7 yards from where it had started its first drive of the game. The Seminoles had possession at their own 30-yard line. They start this time 1st and 10 from the 37. Thad Busby, junior from Pace, Florida. Good mobility for a quarterback. Brings Florida State up in the pro eye. Split end to the right, flanker to the left. Whistles are sounding, and the play clock ran out. I believe Florida State's going to get called for a delay.
They will. Yeah, that thing was at double zeros. So back they go 5 yards. I think one thing that happened there was the Tar Heels were doing some...
Coming out of a timeout, the most obvious question is, how in the world do you get called for a delay?
Well, the Tar Heels, Florida State, first of all, is the most penalized team in the Atlantic Coast Conference. We'll talk more about that later. But the Tar Heels backed off on the corners. Carolina was squatting their corners a little bit, and then they backed them deeper. And that caught the eye of Busby, and I think he was checking off into a better play, and then the time ran out on it.
E.G. Green comes to the right. Andre Cooper is out to the left side to give us off to Warrick Dunn, trying to get the corner turn. Dunn out across the 35, knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
Warrick Dunn on the carry.
Making the tackle for Carolina, Kay Mays. And so the gain of 5 on the play. Back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 37. We told you there would be rain before this one was over, and it has started in Tallahassee. We were having just a few sprinkles at about the kickoff, but now the rain, not heavy, mind you, but it has started. 2nd down, 10. Give us off to Warrick Dunn, and Dunn knocked down in his own backfield. Outstanding play by Bonnie Holliday, the junior from Camden, South Carolina. Had Dunn been able to bounce it to the right, there might have been a lot of yards, but Bonnie Holliday made sure he couldn't.
And that's a huge Tar Heel key, is to bracket Warrick Dunn and roll tackle him. Don't try to strip him of the ball. Don't try to deliver a blow. Just get his legs out from under him and get him on the ground.
Busby dropping back in the shotgun now. Waiting on the snap from Kevin Long, who missed the NC State game with an injury. Now he's back up under center. Busby sprints out to his left, looking to throw, trying to get set, in trouble. Oh, a couple of players from Carolina knock each other off the ball. Busby carrying out across the 40 to the 41. He'll be way, way short of the 1st down, and so Florida State, 3 and out for a 2nd straight possession, will have to kick it away, and there is another injured Tar Heel on the field, and this time it is one of the defensive players for Carolina.
I thought I saw Brian Simmons get folded back as he was pursuing Busby.
Brian Simmons has been bothered for the last couple of weeks by a gimpy knee. He was not scheduled to start today's game. Keith Newman was scheduled to be in there for him. Newman is already out on the field now, and they're helping up Brian Simmons, the junior from New Bern. Carolina's most valuable inside backer, but Mick Helmanoff trotting toward the far sideline. Looks like he's all right.
Might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him. It's not enough to have good individual, good linebackers. The linebacking core has to play as a team and has to kind of have an understanding of what each other is doing in their schemes. And Brian Simmons, one of the brightest in a bright core of Carolina backers.
Bliss is in to kick again. It's 4th down and 6. Dre Bly waiting back at about the 15. 4:25 left to play in the first quarter. Florida State's had the football for only 6 plays. Bliss gets away a booming punt. Dre Bly watches it come down in his arms at the 10, trying to get the corner turn, and he's out of bounds. Jermaine Stringer chases him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So Carolina, starting off its own 20, its own 24, will now go 1st and 10 off its own 15-yard line, following a 49-yard punt by Liss, who came into the game the number 3 punter in the league, averaging better than 43 yards per kick, 43.7 to be exact. Dre Bly hauling him back at better than a 7-yard per return average.
Interesting to see what Greg Davis comes up with offensively here with Carolina's worst field position of the ball game.
Keldorf brings Carolina up. Pro I, flanker to the left, split end to the right. Florida State linebackers up close. The give is off to Maurice McGregor. Lowers his head out to the 17. Nothing fancy here. Just try to find some running room if at all possible. Clock running down. 4 minutes left to play. First quarter. No score in the ball game as yet.
When you work a game against Florida State, play-by-play announcers are always saying things like, there's a hole open, and oh, it closes quickly. That is just because the Seminoles don't stay blocked. They're such good athletes, so aggressive and fast, that it's difficult to control them in the race to get your hands on their chest.
Second down and 8 for the white-shirted Tar Heels. Split backs this time. Out of the pro set. In motion is Octavius Barnes toward the formation. They'll give it off on the counter to Maurice McGregor. Trying to bounce to the outside. He fights to the 19-yard line. Standing over the top of him after making the tackle, Vernon Crawford got help from Willie Crockett. Crawford is the strong side linebacker for Coach Mickey Andrews' defense here at Florida State. Henry Crockett is the weak side linebacker. Third down, 6, ball at the Carolina 19. No score in the game, and the rain has picked up in its intensity.
And waves of substitutes come in defensively for Florida State. Looks like they're nickel package with 5 defensive backs.
Leon Johnson is back in a tailback for Carolina. He's the lone running back. Chris Watson, the fullback, in motion to the right. Keldorf dropping back to throw, looking. Quick hitter over the middle, caught by Octavius Barnes. Barnes on his feet out across the 30 and pushed down on the play by Shevin Smith, the strong safety. So it's a first down for the Tar Heels on a nice throw by Keldorf. So the Tar Heels are 4 of 6 in third down conversions, and Octavius Barnes, we will see more of him in today's ball game. He will not be 100% until about a year from now, Mick, but he's getting better each week.
Good point. The Heels caught the Seminoles in a blitz that time. When the team blitzes, you got 2 choices. You can block all the blitzers or throw the ball before the defense can cover, and Carolina got it off quickly.
Carolina's 5th first down. Florida State has yet to make a first down. Rain slickers are going on here at Doak Campbell. Keldorf gives off to Leon Johnson. Bounced off a tackle. Fights his way to the 39-yard line.
Leon Johnson, the carrier.
5-yard pickup on the play. Shevin Smith, the strong safety, and the linebacker Vernon Crawford make the stop for Florida State. This field will take a lot of rain. It is very much like the field at Carolina. The only plus for Florida State is that there are pumps under this field to really drain the water. But nevertheless, if the rain continues, and it is raining even harder as I speak, it will be much more difficult to handle the football, but it might be working to Carolina's favor, Mick.
I think so.
Keldorf back to throw, looking, going to go over the middle, and it is incomplete. Octavius Barnes had to turn defenders. He was sandwiched in between a couple of Florida State defensive backs. Sean Hamlet was there, I believe, along with James Colsey. Ball is knocked away. It'll bring up third down and 6, rather. Tried to go to Octavius Barnes right over the middle, and what's that, Mick? Second or third shot, deep one that Keldorf has taken?
Yep, that's, I believe, the third one. There was one down the near sideline, 2 other deep balls down the middle. Tar Heels don't appear to have any tentative in their game plan today against the Seminoles at all.
Less than 2 minutes to play opening quarter. Third down, 6 at the Carolina 39. No score. Keldorf drops back to throw. Looking. Got a lot of time. Shoots a pass that's deflected. Flag is down on the play. Flag is down at the 35-yard line. Be a hold. Keldorf got dropped on the play after he had released the ball, and it is going to be a penalty against Carolina. First penalty of the game against the Tar Heels.
If I were the Noles, I'd decline this and force the Tar Heels to punt it.
Daryl Bush is holding a conversation with referee Courtney Mose, and here's Mr. Mose to give us the decision. Good thinking, Mick. Florida State does decline the penalty, and so Derek DePriest will have to come in to kick it away on the deep snap from Chris Allnut.
He got the last punt away in 1.89 seconds. Anything under 2 seconds is terrific. It looks like he shortened his steps a little bit before the punt. Let's see what he does this time.
Steve Feaster, who brought the first one back 21 yards, waiting inside the 30-yard line. 10 players on the line of scrimmage. The snap. Blocked. Loose ball recovered. Greg Williams down at the 26-yard line. Dexter Jackson was the guy who blocked it. Dexter Jackson. A year ago, Florida State scored an early touchdown against Carolina on a block punt that Mario Edwards blocked and carried back 24 yards for a score. Later in the game, Peter Boulware got one, and after blocking 2 punts 10 days ago against NC State, or 9 days ago, the Seminoles get a big break in the kicking game with 1:41 to play first period. Right in front of the south goal, 1st and 10 at the Carolina 25-yard line. 3rd punt this year that DePriest has had blocked. Busby in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Busby back to throw. Busby shoots it over the middle, and it is caught by Warrick Dunn. He's at the 20, to the 19, still on his feet to the 16-yard line. Dre Bly came up to make the stop after Mays and Newman made first contact on him, but it's awfully hard to take the Heisman Trophy candidate from Baton Rouge, Louisiana down. So it'll be 2nd down and 1 with the ball at the Carolina 16, and this Florida State crowd is now very much back in this game after Carolina had kept it quiet throughout much of the first quarter. 1:10 to go. Up under center now. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Busby will give the ball off to Warrick Dunn, trying to bounce to the left. Boy, Brian Simmons just decks him at the 18-yard line. Andre Purvis hit him low, and then Brian Simmons came over the top to really put the crunch on him. 2-yard loss on the play, and believe me, Dunn very rarely loses yardage.
He sure doesn't. A big-time hit by Brian Simmons behind the line. 3rd down, about 1.5 yards now, and a big play for the Noles.
Everybody's in tight. Carolina stacks up its line. Here's Busby giving the ball off to the fullback, and he does not make it off the right side. The fullback is Pooh Bear Williams, the 280-pound junior, suspended for the NC State game. So Florida State will have it 4th down and less than 1 yard to go. The Seminoles 0 for 3 in 3rd down conversions, and Florida State wants to go for it.
Bentley's got his helmet on, but he's not getting on the field.
Clock is running down. Busby looking for the call. Maybe they're just going to let the clock run out. I think that's exactly what they're going to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First quarter is over. Teams change ends of the field. Florida State will have 4th and short yardage. As we start the 2nd quarter, it's still Carolina nothing, a threatening Florida State nothing.
This time of year, the Carolinas' best car deals are underway.
A lot of defensive coaches have been screaming to this defensive unit. Clearly, if they hold Florida State to a field goal here, they did put that fire out after the block punt. But look out for a fake.
Bentley is 4 of 4 in the field goal department this year, with Travis Chambers holding at a streak of 25 in a row, broken at NC State. Deep snap to be made by Jerry Johnson. Snap, spot. Bentley's kick is away, and it is good. It is good. So in the first 3 seconds of the 2nd quarter, Florida State held scoreless in a quarter for the very first time this year. Nick has taken a 3-0 lead.
And that has the feel of a big stop for the Carolina defense, who held Florida State in the first quarter to just 24 yards of total offense. Steiny, what about from your vantage point?
It is a big moral victory, and I say moral because Florida State did put 3 points on the board. But the Carolina defense is playing lights out right now. They know it. I go back to the 3rd down play when Pooh Bear Williams ran the ball. He clearly was about to get the first down. He weighs 280 pounds. The 180-pound Omar Brown came up and knocked him back, flattened him, and kept him from getting the first down. Huge stop for the Carolina defense. The offense has to turn it into a positive.
Pooh Bear Williams last year was in terrible shape. He had the 1.5 mile run in one of the slowest times in school history, 20 minutes and 17 seconds. That's how you could walk it at about that fast. This year he trimmed about 6 minutes off that time, and he's a football player when he'll lose weight and get his weight down to about 275.
Scott Bentley, the leading scorer in the ACC and number 8 in the country, now with 26 points to his credit this year on 5 of 5 field goals and 11 of 12 PATs. And he normally booms kicks out of the end zone, and he is all set to kick off. We've again got a pretty stiff breeze blowing from north to south up at the rim of the stadium, right over the top of that big, huge scoreboard in the north end zone. But the streamers along the top of the goalposts are not moving at all. Here's Bentley, and this is a low driving kick that's going to be fielded and dropped. Finally picked up by Sean Linton, trying to get back to the middle of the field, spun away, brings it to the middle of the field, 25, 30, out to the 33-yard line. Jonathan Linton looked like he might be in real trouble for a moment, but he turns it into a nice run back, and it could be that when he was dropping that ball, Florida State just simply overran the play.
It happens all the time. you see it when a receiver on a kickoff will mishandle the ball, sometimes on a punt return as well. The defense gets a little bit overzealous. They get out of their lanes and they just start attacking the football. And sometimes you'll see a big return off of a fumble attempt.
Best starting position the Carolina offense has had yet, off its own 33-yard line. 3-0 Florida State. Keldorf off to Leon Johnson. Sidestepped the tackler, comes out across the 35 over his own right side to about the 36-yard line. Give him 3 on the play. That's his 10th carry of the game. 28 yards unofficially. Daryl Bush, the Altamonte Springs, Florida junior, middle linebacker for the Seminoles, credited with a tackle on the play. He's the second leading tackler coming into this game for Florida State. 11 of his 19 came in NC State. Renard Wilson had 16 of his 24 against Duke. Second down, about 7. Keldorf rolling out to his right, looking to throw over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Freddie Jones, thrown high. Jones was sandwiched between a couple of Florida State defenders. Sean Hamlet, the free safety, was downfield, and Vernon Crawford, the strong side linebacker, was dropping to cover. So that will bring up now 3rd down and 7 Carolina. The ball just outside the Carolina 36. And here goes that familiar Florida State champ once again.
Tar Heels move that pocket around, rolling Chris Keldorf out after faking a handoff into the line, trying to not give Florida State a stationary target to attack back there.
Keldorf in the shotgun. 3 wide outs to the left, 1 to the right. Keldorf back to throw. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket, dropped at the 30. Greg Spires, the junior from Cape Coral, Florida, was the first guy to get to him. Florida State coming into the game. The opposition had run 108 plays. 45 had been tackles for loss, and there had been 12 and a half sacks. So that's the first 3 and out for the Carolina offense. Tar Heels 4 of 8 in 3rd down conversions. Derek DePriest will again face a 10-man rush. Deep snap. Here they come. DePriest gets it away. It's a wobbly kick headed near sideline. Hits, goes inside the 25, the 20, out of bounds at the 18-yard line. So Florida State will go 1st and 10 from its own 18-yard line as the Seminoles lead this game over the Tar Heels by a field goal.
Partners.
Great 3-0 Florida State Seminoles. To Morgan Patrick for an update on 4th-ranked Ohio State at number 5 Notre Dame. Morgan.
Mick, South Bend is not rocking like they'd like it. Here's how it sounded right before half.
He hit behind the line, but he's going to get into the end zone after all. His 2nd touchdown of the day, and Ohio State now leads 21-7 with 54 seconds left in the first half.
Back to Tallahassee.
Warrick Dunn takes the counter play, comes out across the 20, knocked down at the 26-yard line. It's a gain of 8 on the play for the Baton Rouge senior. Keith Newman, the sophomore from Tampa, moved in to make the stop for Carolina on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 4. Ball right at the 25-yard line. Let's call it 2nd down and 3.
According to Jody Zoigner's stats, Carolina 12 minutes in time of possession. Florida State 4.5 minutes.
But that big scoreboard shows Florida State leading 3-0 as Busby gives it again to Dunn, and Dunn is hit for a loss on the play. Brian Simmons wrestles him down back at the 20-yard line. 2nd time today that Dunn has lost yardage on a carry. They're going to mark his progress back at the 23-yard line. Loss of 2 on the play, so it'll be 3rd down and 5. Florida State has been 3 and out on its first 3 possessions, but the last possession wound up in a field goal. A 33-yarder by Scott Bentley. Carolina now showing a 5-man front. Now they back Newman off the side. Out of the shotgun, Busby with a snap, looking out to his right. Being pressured, now going to throw back over the middle. Incomplete. Flag is down, however, on the play. The umpire that time, Tom Locke, looking right into the defensive and offensive line play, and it is holding against Florida State. But it will probably be declined by the Tar Heels. As a matter of fact, Mac Brown along the far sideline, that would be the east sideline, already signaling, declined it and forced Florida State to punt. So Mick, again, the Seminoles are 3 and out.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
The Tar Heel defense has played terrific. I mean, it's some of the best football that they've played all year. and you could name some names along the line of scrimmage in the secondary and at linebacker. We'll pick somebody out for our Bell South Yellow Pages Player of the Game after the game, brought to you by Bell South Yellow Pages. Let your fingers do the walking through the real Yellow Pages.
Sean List has punted twice for a 45.5 average. Dre Bly back deep at about the 35. List waiting on the snap from Clay Ingram. Gets it, gets the punt away, and it is a beauty. A driving kick. Bly backpedaling to the 25. Looking for a block, now brings it back up the middle of the field. 30, slips down at the 32-yard line. Dre Bly. Looked like he might have had a little bit more running room on that play, but he was trying to set up Terry Billups' block. 52-yard punt, 7-yard return. Carolina will get the football with 12:02 to play in the first half at its own 32-yard line.
4.0 seconds of air underneath that punt. Anything over 4 is terrific. That was a driving kick. List's punts do not look all that pretty. They're wobbly spirals, but he has got a lot of leg velocity.
Keldorf up under center. He's 4 of 10 on the day for 49 yards. He'll give the ball off to Maurice McGregor, and McGregor hitting off the left side gets little, if anything. Stacked up by a rock-solid wall of Garnet jerseys on the play. They're going to give him a yard, and they're being generous. 2nd down and 9. Carolina at its own 33. Carolina with Keldorf as the quarterback. McGregor, the senior from Marietta, Georgia, the power runner, now in at tailback. Chris Watson is the fullback. Wideouts are L.C. Stevens and Octavius Barnes. Tight end is Freddie Jones. This time they'll put Linton as a wing in a short slot on the left side. Linton in motion to the right. Keldorf on a long count, back to throw, quick drop, throwing, caught by Octavius Barnes down at the 45. First down for Carolina. Needed 9 on the play and got 12. Barnes' second pass reception of the season. You remember, he caught one deep in Syracuse territory 3 weeks ago.
And a real pretty work by Chris Keldorf as the defense is trying to read the eyes and sort of the angle of the helmet opening of the quarterback. Keldorf used his eyes to look in the direction of John Linton, that same side of the field, but then gonna pass to Octavius after looking the coverage off.
First down and 10, Carolina as the heels in their road white jerseys go left to right toward the south end of Doak Campbell Stadium. Give on the counter play off to McGregor, trying to bounce to the outside. Gets a yard on the play and no more. So it will be 2nd down and 9. They had marked the start of the play at the 44. So McGregor slamming off the left side gets a yard on the play. Well, they're saying now 46 is forward progress, so call it 2nd down and 8 at the 46.
Typically, the Seminoles are showing 7 in the box, or 7 defenders up close to the line of scrimmage.
Octavius Barnes comes wide to the right. L.C. Stevens is to the left. Keldorf back to throw. Looking, and down he will go again at the 41-yard line. Byron Thomas, the offensive left tackle, just got right back into his quarterback that time by the hard rush. And we told you before the game that Byron Thomas and Mike Baxter would have a difficult time today with Renard Wilson and Peter Boulware. 3rd sack of the game, Florida State defensively.
And, I mean, you're looking for positive things, obviously, but Chris Keldorf will eat the football before he will try to make, to be a hero. And that's what Florida State depends on is they're on you like piranhas. If you start trying to get out of pressure and be the man there trying to force the ball in, that's when they pick him off and take him to the house on you.
Keldorf is now 5 of 11 for 54 yards. Joe Ellison, the freshman from Mount Tabor High in Winston-Salem, now working at that right tackle. Throw is complete to Leon Johnson. He's taken out of bounds at about the 46, 47-yard line. Will be well short of the first down. And a Tar Heel slow to get up on the play. Tar Heel slow to get up on the play. We can't make it out yet, but Dr. Dan Hooker and Don Steelman, the Carolina trainers, are out there quickly. We've got the glasses trying to sort it out. 9:22 remaining to be played first half. It's Leon Johnson. Leon Johnson, the injured player. And so it will be 4th down. 4th down and about 8 with the ball just outside the Carolina 46-yard line. So Derek DePriest is in to kick. 2 punts, 42-yard average thus far. Of course, the block punt by Dexter Jackson and the following field goal by Scott Bentley, the only marker in the game thus far. 10 players again on the line of scrimmage. Long count. Chris Allnut with a snap. DePriest gets it away. It's a wobbly kick. Feaster will field it on the run at the 21. Starts to the far side. Trying to cut back to the middle, and down he goes under a couple of Tar Heel jerseys. Allnut was there, along with Mike Pringley. Down he goes at the 31-yard line. Timeout on the field. Florida State will put the ball.
Florida State over Carolina. 1st and 10 from the Seminoles 31.5. Dave Hart coming at halftime.
Over 80,000 people watching here in Tallahassee today. Pro set, flags are down. Quick throw, incomplete, intended for Pooh Bear Williams. Or check it, Khalid Abdullah, the sophomore fullback, in there now. And a flag was thrown quickly on the play, and it's going to be against Florida State, and it is going to be illegal motion. Illegal motion is the penalty against the Seminoles. It'll push them back 5 yards.
If accepted, it's being talked about right now. It's an incompleted pass. You could face 2nd down and 10 if you decline this. 1st and 15 if you accept.
Illegal motion on the offense. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
So it is declined by Carolina. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Remember, when you're at the local grocery store, pick up a pack of Beefmaster Franks. You know them as the Steak Eaters Frank. Ball at the Florida State 31. It's a 3-0 ball game in Tallahassee. 2 years ago, Carolina beaten 31-18. Played the Seminoles closer than any other ACC team has coming into Doak Campbell. Florida State getting into the guy. Busby under center. Split into the left, flanker right. Busby on the play action fake. Back to throw. Looking over the middle. Shoots it out sideline. Caught. And pulling away as the tight end down the far sideline goes Kamari Charlton. He's across midfield to the 49. He pulled away from the Carolina tackler and carries into Tar Heel territory. Big play by the senior from Nassau in the Bahamas.
Now the key there was the protection that the Seminole offensive line gave Thad Busby. He had time to look over all the receivers that were out in patterns and finally pick out Charlton along the far sideline.
That is the first down of the ball game for the Seminoles at the Carolina 49. It was a 20-yard gain on the play. Busby, again, a play-action fake. Back to throw, being pressured, and he'll go down back at the Florida State 43-yard line. Rick Terry, the senior from Lexington, the first guy in white to get to him. Clock continues to roll with 8:29 left to play first half, and it will bring up 2nd down and long. The loss on the play, about 8 yards. So 2nd and 18.
When Florida State practices with the huddle and with the no huddle, they actually think that their offense gets more rest out of the no huddle because the offense does not have to retreat 7 yards back to huddle up and then go forward 7 yards every play.
Busby 3 of 6 for 29 yards. He's back to air it out again. Flags are down. He shoots it out incomplete. Intended for Warrick Dunn. Nearly plucked out of the air by Brian Simmons, but whistles, flags may have stopped that play before it ever really fully developed. Referee Courtney Mose.
Be a delay.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards. 2nd down.
So that will bring up a 2nd down and 23, and will move the ball back to the 38-yard line of Florida State. So the Seminoles, after getting their first down of the ball game, have now backed up 13 yards.
Well, they average 100 yards per game, just a whisker under that in penalties. Today, Florida State, 4 penalties, 35 yards. Carolina has not had any minus yardage via a penalty yet.
Busby's in the shotgun. He's got Warrick Dunn just to his right. Got a wide slot to the right side. 2 receivers out to the left. Busby back to throw. Here comes Carolina's pressure. Busby to throw the little screen. It's caught. Preston pulling away. He got away from Bonnie Holiday, and then he's taken down at the 34-yard line. Brian Simmons, the Newbern Jr., in hot pursuit of him, drops him, and it's going to be a 4-yard loss on the play. It will be 3rd down and 27. 3rd down and 27 back at the Florida State 34.
Surprised that the Noles have not taken more deep shots against Carolina like the Heels have against the Florida State defense?
I am a little bit, yes. Florida State going without a no-huddle offense. For that reason, the Carolina defenders are wearing wristbands in today's game, so a simple number from the sideline will get them aligned properly defensively. Busby to throw over the middle, caught. Short of the 1st down, however. Reception made by Wayne Messam. Wayne Messam So Florida State 0 for 5 in third down plays will have to send Sean List, the St. Petersburg, Florida senior, onto the game to kick again. Mick, you'll remember the equipment truck fire Florida State had a year ago coming home from Chapel Hill. It wasn't until just prior to the start of the season this year that Sean List was able to get a replacement pair of kangaroo shoes to do his punting. List gets the snap. Boy, he hits a driving kick. Bly will catch it inside the 5 at the 4. Looking for running room. Wants a block. Can he get it? Oh, he's darn close to being tackled in the end zone. He's out of bounds at the 1. Boy, he was running right along that goal line. He decided to take a chance, and that is living on the edge because, as you know, most people will tell their guys, don't catch it if you have to back inside the 10.
Well, it's easy for us to sit up here and say he shouldn't have caught it. In point of fact, he shouldn't have caught that. He should have just let it bounce on into the end zone. You love his bravado and his moxie. He's just trying to make a play, but that was real close to being 2 points, and Carolina free kicking from their 20.
First and 10 for the Tar Heels as the rain again gets even harder. First and 10, Carolina, the worst starting position of the day, off of the Carolina 1-yard line. Carolina with a lengthy huddle in the end zone, just coming up to the line of scrimmage, and this crowd will try to be a factor. You hear the noise. Keldorf out of the eye. Back to throw out of his end zone. Going to take a deep shot, and it's incomplete. Barnes was out there. Covering on the play was Troy Saunders, the field corner for Florida State. Well, you got to admire the moxie of Greg Davis getting Chris Keldorf to come out of his own end zone with a deep try against the Seminoles.
And Octavius was open. He got behind him. The ball was just overthrown.
Barnes just now getting back to the huddle. 6:28 to play. Clock stopped on the incompleted pass. 3-0 the score from Tallahassee.
And if you know Greg Davis like we do, he might just try that same play again.
Keldorf under the center. That center is Jeff Saturday. Movement on the right side, left side rather, of Carolina's offensive line. And we've got pushing and shoving and maybe a swing or two. Jonas Geathers, the left guard, looked like he might have moved on the play. Well, they can't penalize him but half the distance.
Head ball. False start on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
It'll be at the 1/2-yard line. And so the Tar Heels will have second down and 10 off their 1/2-yard line.
It's all special teams. Florida State has just outkicked Carolina. Carolina has outplayed Florida State offense against defense and vice versa, but the Seminoles are winning the kicking game solid.
Keldorf under center. The Florida State defense will get even more aggressive. The give is off to Leon Johnson. He stopped. Florida State saying it has a safety. No signal yet from the officials, but every one of the Florida State front defenders signaling safety on the play, but it will be third down. Florida State defenders are asking this Seminole crowd to get even louder. Referee Courtney Mose sounds his whistle as the umpire, Tom Locke, stands over the football here in the rain. Actually, he's drying it off, trying to keep it as dry as possible. Jeff Saturday coming out over the football. Tom Locke puts it down. The back end of that football is almost on the goal line. Keldorf faking, wants to throw, looking, shoots a pass, sideline, thrown away. Octavius Barnes, the intended receiver, so it will be fourth down, as the Tar Heels are 3 and out, and now DePriest will really be under an assault.
Yeah, without being able to get 15 yards back either, it's going to be a short snap.
Florida State's going to wind up with good field position out of this, even if DePriest gets it off.
Might think about taking a safety here.
Allnut ready on the snap. 10 players coming. The snap. DePriest gets it away over the outstretched arm of the Florida State defender.
Flag down.
We've got a flag down in the end zone as DePriest was roughed on the play. Feaster is taken down at the 26. Derek Jackson was the guy who went into Derek DePriest, the Carolina punter. Derek Jackson, the sophomore from Quincy, Florida, who earlier in the ball game had blocked the punt.
There are two versions of this penalty: running into, which is 5 yards, no automatic first, or roughing, which is 15 yards, automatic first down. His leg was up in the air when he was hit, and being blocked into the punter does not excuse the contact. Let's see.
Personal foul.
Big one.
Roughing the kicker on the defense. 15 yards. First down.
Nick, as you know, in a lot of those situations, Florida State's aggressive defense will take those penalties just because they want to play that way to intimidate you.
Yeah, they're good enough to. They figure they're going to beat the breath out of you anyway, so why not take a shot or two? But that was an expensive penalty for Florida State. All of a sudden now the Heels have got the ball. They keep the ball. They're at their own 15. The Seminoles would have had it at about the 25 of Carolina going in.
Well, Carolina with a little bit more working room right now. 1st and 10 at the Tar Heel 15-yard line. Keldorf under center. Wide slot to the right side. L.C. Stevens is out to the left. Keldorf checking off. Watson checking with Leon Johnson to make sure he's got the play. Keldorf dropping back, gets it off to Leon Johnson, and Johnson hits for only a yard over the left side out to about the 16. 2nd down and 9 for the Tar Heels. Earlier today, Clemson over Wake Forest 21-10. Purdue beat NC State, kept the Wolfpack winless 42-21. Coming up later, of course, will be Maryland at West Virginia. That's a 6 o'clock start. And then at 7:30, Texas at Virginia, the other top 25 matchup today. Carolina, Jody Zortner, our statistician, showing me 19 rushing attempts for only 20 yards. 2nd down, 9, 16. Split backs behind Keldorf. Out of the pro set. Keldorf to throw, looking, shoots it sideline, incomplete. Tried to go to Leon Johnson, and Henry Crockett was all over him, and Keldorf gets sandwiched back at about the 10-yard line, going down between a couple of Florida State defenders. It'll be 3rd down and 9, Carolina, back at its own 16. Mick, one thing I think you have to say for Carolina right now, I think the Tar Heels have done a commendable job keeping their poise in this situation.
I was thinking that earlier. The part of the game plan coming in was to be patient, not try to win the game early, win the game in the first half, just hang in there. The Tar Heels feel like they're a very fit football team, and in this rain, if the Seminoles wear down, Carolina could do some things late.
3 wide receivers come to the right. L.C. Stevens is to the left. 3rd down and 9 off the Carolina 16. 3-0. Florida State leads it. Keldorf dropping back to throw, looking out to the right. He'll go down back at the 14-yard line. Peter Boulware, the junior from Columbia, South Carolina, who led the ACC schools in sacks last year with 10. He wants 12 this year. Came into the game with 4.5 to his credit. And so DePriest, as the Tar Heels have now missed on their last 5 3rd down conversion attempts, DePriest will have to try to kick it off his own end zone. 4 sacks thus far for 18 yards. And it is raining probably harder than it has at any time thus far this afternoon. Chris Allnut on the deep snap, gets it to DePriest. Low snap, but he gets it out of there. A wobbly kick. Feaster on the Carolina side of the 50 at the 49. Trying to go back up the middle. Breaks. A tackle, spins away, and goes to the 41. So that's where Florida State will put it in play. Excellent field position. That's starting position today for the Seminoles. Timeout on the field. 3:48 to play after the tackle by...
What's in a name? Green Ford, the Ford Superstore, 3800 West Wendover Avenue, Greensboro. Green Ford. You can count on us.
3-0 Florida State. Some coaches feel like kicking plays are more important than scrimmage downs because of 3 reasons. When a team kicks the ball, there is a change of possession. There is also a definitive chance to score, and there's always a big yardage swing. Right now, Carolina's playing the best they can play. I mean, they're playing great. They're just losing the special teams battle decisively. Harrison Clark from Wilmington, our latest Subway winner, winning a Carolina fan pack and a $30 Subway coupon. You could win, too. Just listen for the Subway ad.
Busby under center will toss sweep to Warrick Dunn, coming wide to the left side. Dunn trying to get the corner turn, still on his feet, and down he goes at the 36. Greg Williams came up from the strong safety position to make the hit that finally knocked Dunn down on the play.
Greg Williams and number 94, Rick Terry, makes the defense.
Winds up getting about 5, so it will be 2nd down and 5 for Florida State. Carolina 36-yard line. Football just inside the 36. Seminoles getting good field position after having Carolina backed up deep. 3-0 the score. 3:15 remaining to be played first half. Thad Busby, no huddle offense for Florida State. Looking right, then left. 2 wide outs to the right, 1 to the left. Essen is the wide out to the left side. Busby, quick drop, looking right. Now we'll go back on the left, and it intercepted. Dre Bly. Bly coming back up the middle of the field with it. Trying to get a block, and he fumbles the football, and Florida State's recovered. tackler, and Florida State has recovered the football at the 11-yard line. The second big mistake by the redshirt freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia, and he is distraught. Brian Simmons is having to console him off to the left. Todd Fordham, the offensive tight tackle from Tipton, Georgia, made the recovery.
He made such a great play to intercept that ball. His back was to the quarterback. He looked that in like an over-the-shoulder catch. Started upfield, had made a few people miss, got hit low, and the ball just came out on contact.
So Florida State, first down and 10 now at the Carolina 11-yard line with a 3-0 lead. Busby under center in the pro I. He'll toss it off to Warrick Dunn going right side, and Dunn's at the 5. He's in, leaping into the end zone for the touchdown. Took him but one play to make it 9-0. And Dre Bly still has his head down, hands on knees on the left side of the field. He knows what he has cost his football team.
Well, Carolina might not be 3-0 and 11th ranked without him. They probably wouldn't be, and he'll know that soon, but right now he feels terrible. The scoring play was a counter sweep, pull the guard to the tight end side, zone block the backside, but the ball goes to the backside. No one was home. Scott Bentley, who has missed only 1 point after touchdown this year, is on the money. 2:45 remaining to be played first half, and Florida State has jumped out in front 10-0 over the Tar Heels here in Tallahassee.
I'd never been to a college campus.
It was great. We met some football players. Yeah, we went to a class.
The Exxon ACC Kids in College program is part of Exxon's continuing commitment to education. This program brings deserving middle school students to an ACC university to expose them to campus life and help motivate them to establish goals and start planning now for the future.
You know, it got me thinking seriously about college. It really did.
Exxon is an official corporate partner of the ACC.
The first to meet Dre Bly when he came off the field. Rick Steinbacher, what did he say?
Coach Brown was telling Dre to get his head up, get his mind back on the game. It's going to help him get it back in there, but he knows the mistakes he's made.
Scott Bentley, high end-over-end kick. It'll be Leon Johnson at the 3, back to the middle of the field, the 10, the 15, pushing blockers ahead of him. Leon Johnson fights his way out to the 26-yard line with 2:38 remaining to be played in the first half.
Well, Florida State defense is an outstanding defense when they have to defend both run and pass, when they get the lead on you, and when they feel like you have to throw the ball, when you get more predictable to get back in it. The Carolina coaching staff feels like then Florida State becomes a great defensive football team.
First down and 10, Tar Heels are on 26-yard line. Chris Keldorf will bring the Heels up. He's going to be in the shotgun. He'll put L.C. Stevens out to the right. He's got Nay Brown and Darren Ashford. Jason Pease to the left side. Keldorf sprinting out, looking to throw. Throws complete to Nay Brown, and Nay Brown is ridden out of bounds into the Carolina bench area at the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it will be second down and 4. Shevin Smith and Byron Capers making the tackle for Florida State.
The problem you got against Florida State, you know you need to throw the ball, and you want to stretch the length of the field, but with the defensive ends for Florida State are so good and fast and strong that you have protection problems. If you keep an extra back end to protect, then that's one less passing option in the passing game.
Keldorf now 7 of 16 for 65 yards. Carolina goes left to right, trying to work toward that south goal. Keldorf on the counter play, hands it off to Leon Johnson, and Johnson fighting for what will be first down yardage over the left side, driving out to about the 37-yard line. Maybe I made an early call, too early called on it. No, now they're saying Charles Neely, the head linesman, first down. Let's move those markers. Clock showing 2:23 remaining to be played first half, and Florida State will get the ball at the outset of the second half. The Seminoles won the toss, elected to defer until the start of the second half. Keldorf back in the shotgun. Leon Johnson just to his right. 2 wideouts left, 2 to the right. Keldorf looking to throw. Shoots a quick pass. It's knocked away by Capers, intended for L.C. Stevens. Capers, who has 3 career interceptions, including one against Carolina last year, tried to make another one there. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Carolina at its own 37.
Woody, the Tar Heels have 4 times the first downs that Florida State has. 8 first downs for Carolina, only 2 first downs for the Tar Heels, or for Florida State rather. Yet Carolina trails 10 points to nothing.
Block kick, first turnover of the game for the Tar Heels, each side with 1 turnover. And it came on the same play. Here's Keldorf to throw, looking, shoots it out, caught by Nay Brown, trying to get to the near sideline, out of bounds at the 42. May have lost a yard on the play. So it'll be 3rd down. No, I beg your pardon. He was coming off his 37, so he gained 6 on the play. They're saying now 43. So 3rd down and 4. 3rd down and 4. Keldorf hitting on his 8th completion of the game. 2 minutes, a second shy of it left in the first half. Jason Peace, Nay Brown, or Jason Peace and Darren Ashford go to the left. Nay Brown and L.C. Stevens come to the right. Keldorf in the shotgun. Quick throw, sidearms it, caught by Nay Brown, and he's out of bounds just shy of midfield at the 49. So it will be another first down for Carolina, the 2nd in the drive, and Florida State coming precariously close to a late hit.
Yeah, Keldorf's getting teed off on. He's slower and slower to get up. He's a tough kid, but he hadn't been beaten on like this in either of the 3 games. And it took a sidearm pass to get it under the armpit of an on-rushing Florida State guy for the first down.
Nick, that was the first 3rd down situation the Tar Heels have converted in 6 attempts. They're now 5 of 12 on the day. 1:56 to play first half. It's a 10-0 Florida State lead. Keldorf, who's hit on 63% of his passes this year, trying to bring the Tar Heels back. Keldorf looking. He'll go deep over the middle. L.C. Stevens is there. Knocked away. Incomplete. That ball was up for grabs for a few minutes between Samari Roll and Dexter Jackson. Trying to leap high in the air and make the catch was L.C. Stevens, but he could not do it. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Carolina at its own 49.
Well, Roll was the primary man covering. Dexter Jackson was the free safety just roaming the middle of the field waiting to see if the ball would be released. When the ball was released, it floated a little bit and gave Dexter Jackson a chance to come over sideways and almost come up with the interception after Roll tipped it.
Keldorf now 9 of 20 for 76 yards. 1:48 to play first half. 10-0 Florida State. Keldorf again in the shotgun. 3 wide outs to the left, 1 to the right. Keldorf looking to throw, steps out of trouble. Now he lobs one, caught, incomplete. Thrown just too far for Leon Johnson, who might have carried down inside the 35 had he been able to make the catch between Henry Crockett and Sean Hamlet. 3rd down and 10, Carolina at its own 49.
Keldorf and Leon improvised well. Huge first down in the Syracuse game on a little bit of schoolyard football. Looked like it might work that play, but just out of Leon's reach.
Carolina had scored in every quarter but one up until halftime last week. They went scoreless in the 2nd quarter against Georgia Tech. And here against the nation's top-ranked defense, the Tar Heels have not been able to put anything on the board with 1:41 to play in the first half. Florida State sneaking up some backers. Keldorf to throw. Blitz is coming. Keldorf steps up, throws incomplete, intended for Nay Brown, and batted away by Shevin Smith, the strong safety.
Nay Brown.
Keldorf again going down. Florida State unstacking where they tried to meet at the quarterback. Renard Wilson, Greg Spires, Peter Boulware, all in there. So, 4th down 10. Carolina will have to kick it away with 1:36 to play. Florida State with 2 timeouts remaining. DePriest thus far, 38.3 yard average, 1 punt blocked. Chris Allnut on the snap to DePriest. It's a low one, but he gets away his best kick of the afternoon. The ball will hit at the 10, takes a bounce. Carolina will try to get to it. Can the Tar Heels down it? Brandon Spoon is there, and he's got it at the 1 yard line. Burlington's Brandon Spoon downs the punt at the 1 yard line, and that's where Florida State will have to start with 1:25 left in the half.
Seminoles didn't try to rush the punter on that attempt, nor did they turnovers, counting the intercepted pass earlier in this quarter, while getting the ball 5 times, or 6 times. And the give off straight up the middle, out to about the 5 yard line, comes the fullback, Pooh Bear Williams. So punching ahead, they actually said it was at the 3, so punching ahead out to about the 6. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Right after this play, we'll be pausing quickly 10 seconds down the line for all of our stations to identify themselves. Woody Durham, Nick Mixon, Rick Steinbacher, along with our crew, veteran spotter Harold Bowen, and our reliable statistician Jody Zorgner, plus others here in Tallahassee. Florida State up in the pro eye, split into the right flanker left, and it is just Busby trying to sneak it out of there. Carolina's got a timeout left. Let's pause quickly, 10 seconds, station identification. You're listening to Carolina, Florida State on the Tar Heels Sports Network.
WKSI Greensboro. You're listening to Tar Heels Sports on Continuous Country. 98.7 KISS Country.
It will be 3rd down and 6, Florida State off its own 7-yard line. Off its own 7-yard line. Carolina with 1 timeout remaining. 12 seconds, 11, 10, 9. Busby sneaking straight ahead. And that will be the end of the first half. No, Carolina has stopped the clock with a timeout. Its last 4 seconds remaining in the half. Florida State thought the clock had run out.
That's good clock management by the Tar Heels.
You know, Mick, I got a email message recently from Sabrina Williamson out of Raleigh. Sabrina says she has an off-season birthday and she has never been wished happy birthday on the Tar Heel Sports Network. We can't do this for everybody, but that was such a unique request. Happy belated birthday to Sabrina Williamson of Raleigh. And this birthday greeting also yesterday, Autumn Swafford, the daughter of Carolina Athletic Director John Swafford, turned 19. She is a women's soccer scholarship player here at Florida State. And, of course, Florida State lost to Carolina on Thursday by a 9-0 score. These birthday greetings brought to you by your participating Hallmark stores in North Carolina, who remind you to stop in and register your birthday with Hallmark and the Heels.
Woody, here's a situation coming up here with the Heels down 10-0 right before half. 4 seconds left. Florida State going to punt from their own end zone. You might even think about being extra aggressive trying to block this punt. If you get penalized, well, it's just going to be another punt situation again. So it's not like a penalty will really kill you here. I think the Tar Heels will come, maybe rush 11, just try to get a hand on it and create a big play.
Sean List will be standing deep in his own end zone. Nobody is back deep for the Tar Heels yet. Maybe Carolina's going to try to send 11. Got 11 people up on the line of scrimmage. They look back to punt block coordinator Donnie Thompson for the call. The deep snap to be made by Clay Ingram. List is about 8 yards deep in his end zone. Long count. Try to draw Carolina off. The Tar Heels don't move. No snap yet. With 4 seconds left on the clock, List got it out of there. Just barely. Ball is going to hit, and the clock is run out. The first half is over in Tallahassee. And this game has swung thus far on a block punt that Florida State turned into a field goal, and then an interception by Dre Bly that was fumbled right back, and it took Warrick Dunn but 1 play to go the 11 yards, and that's our 10-0 score on the board at halftime.
Summer's almost over, but the Heat...
Carolina has a huge advantage in time of possession, 18:48 to 11:02 for the Seminoles, but 2 big plays, a blocked punt that led to a field goal, and then a Carolina Dre Bly fumble after he intercepted the ball that led to a Warrick Dunn touchdown run, the difference in this game. The Exxon halftime stats brought to you by your local Exxon dealers and distributors, who remind you that no other 93 octane quenches your car's thirst better than Exxon 93 Supreme. Exxon, put a tiger in your tank.
Mick, that interception by Dre Bly was his 5th of the season after getting the 3 last week against Georgia Tech. Chris Welch, senior from Greensboro, set to kick off. Peter Warrick on the far side, Rock Preston on the near side, deep for the garnet-clad Seminoles of Bobby Bowden. 10-0 our score. We start the second half. Welch waiting on the whistle from referee Courtney Mose. He's got it. Checking with 5 to his right, 5 to his left. Here comes Welch's kickoff, and it's a high, deep end-over-end kick. It'll be Warrick at the 8 on the far side of the field. He brings it back to the middle of the field. 10, 15. Warrick at the 20, gets to the sideline. 25, 30, out across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. So Florida State will have excellent field position. 1st and 10 at its own 38-yard line to start play, the first possession of the second half. And remember, if the Tar Heels are able to come back, it'll be a classic comeback at Wendy's. As you know, the day after Carolina wins, the famous Carolina Classic hamburger on sale all day for just 99 cents, $1 off the regular price. It's the Hold 'em Heels deal at participating Wendy's in North Carolina. Thad Busby, first half, 5 of 9, 1 interception. Busby giving the ball off to Warrick Dunn, sweeping wide to the right, cuts back, late flag goes down, far side of the field. Dunn coming out to about the 41. Greenville's Tito Simpson on the tackle for Carolina. Pickup of about 3. Courtney Mose indicating a holding call against Florida State. Seminoles in the first half were penalized 5 times for 50 yards.
Carolina 1 time for no yards.
Kavah Yusuma Mays, senior or junior linebacker from Anniston, Alabama, talking with referee Mose.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, spot of the foul, first down.
It's going to take the ball back to the 28-yard line, so it will be first down and 20 for Florida State from the spot of the foul. Back at the Seminole 28-yard line. Up over the football comes Kevin Long, the junior from Summerville, South Carolina. Thad Busby in the shotgun now. He's got Abdullah to his left and Warrick Dunn to his right. He's put 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Carolina with a 5-man front. Linebackers about 4 yards off the ball. Here's Busby throwing sideline. Got his receiver. Receiver trying to duck under the Tar Heel tacklers, but they will not let him. Thrown back at about the 31, but they're going to mark his forward progress at the 33-yard line, and the receiver was Wayne Messam, the senior from South Bay, Florida. Gain is to the 34 of 6 yards, so it'll be second down and 14. 13:55 left to play third period, a 10-0 ball game. Wayne Messam will go wide to the right side, while E.G. Green and Andre Cooper come to the left. Again, Busby in the shotgun. Florida State goes right to left here in the third quarter toward the north goal. Busby dropping straight back to throw. Looking, shoots a pass that is caught by Warrick Dunn, but taken down at the 34 by Brian Simmons. And what a game the Newbert Jr. is playing for the Tar Heels today.
The crowd thought there was interference as Simmons tackled him just as Warrick Dunn caught that pass, but there's a situation where the Noles got just what they wanted. A linebacker isolated in space on Warrick Dunn. The only problem for Florida State was that linebacker is Brian Simmons, who is big, quick, and agile.
Busby's been sacked 1 time today. Chris Keldorf has gone down 4 times. E.G. Green and Andre Cooper again go wide right. Wayne Messam comes to the left. Abdullah and Dunn in behind Busby, who's under center now in the eye on third down 14 off the 34. Busby will give the ball off to Warrick Dunn. He's got a big hole left side. Dunn's got the first down out to the 49-yard line. Omar Brown makes the tackle, but not before Warrick Dunn, who was held to just 33 yards, 8 carries first half, despite an 11-yard touchdown. Sprints off the left side to give Florida State its first third down conversion of the day.
A 15-yard run left side on third down and 13. Those are backbreakers. Carolina just got a little bit high, it looked like that time. Florida State got up under Carolina's pads and blocked a nice crease for Warrick.
E.G. Green and Peter Warrick go wide to the right. Wayne Messam is to the left. Busby will run the toss sweep to Warrick Dunn, short side of the field, trying to cut back, dives to the Carolina 48. Andre Purvis on the tackle. It's a gain of 2. It'll be second down at 8. Carolina took the opening kickoff and kept the football, although not scoring, for nearly 6 minutes in the opening quarter. Florida State is trying to manage the clock here at the outset of the third, nursing a 10-0 lead.
Yeah, they're huddling up now, whereas in the first half, they hardly huddled at all offensively.
Messam again left, while Warrick and Green go to the right. Busby will be in the shotgun once again. Second down at 8. Carolina 48. Here's Busby back to throw, looking to his right. He'll air it out over the middle, and it is caught, yes, by E.G. Green. Mays made a dive, and I wasn't sure for a moment, but E.G. Green makes a good catch of Thad Busby's first down pass to the Carolina 38-yard line.
First down, Florida State.
Oh, maybe for a moment, Kay Mays had intercepted that ball. He had just about an equal chance at it. The ball went right through his arm to E.G.'s chest pad. He corralled it.
That's why I had to wait. Close play. Cooper and Green go to the right. Messam comes to the left. Hubert Williams and Warrick Dunn in behind Thad Busby. First down, Florida State. They run the toss sweep out to Preston. He's trying to get wide to the right side, and Newman slows him up, and he goes down at the 36. It's a gain of 2 on the play. Second down and 8. 10-0 the score. Florida State first half, 73 yards of total offense, as Mick told you during our Exxon stats. Carolina, 101 yards. Right now, Florida State, Mick, has moved that total up to 109.
Yeah, that's their best sustained drive of the game so far. Their only drive, but they're moving in bigger chunks.
Previous longest drive against the Tar Heels for a score had been a 6-play, 18-yard drive at Syracuse. Busby back to throw. Pressure coming. Busby in trouble. Fumbled the ball. Carolina recovered, picked up. Tar Heels are on it on the second turnover of the game at the Carolina 48-yard line. Keith Newman, the sophomore from Tampa, Florida, playing a lot today in place of Hamlet's James Hamilton, who's injured and can't go. So Carolina is going to get the ball in its best starting field position of the day as well.
The backside pressure was by Greg Ellis. He beat his man and caught Busby from the blind side, or his backside, knocking the football loose.
Chris Gildor, 9 of 22 first half. We'll see Carolina get the ball with 10:29 left to play third quarter. First and 10 at the Carolina 48. Gildor checking off under center. Fullback offset to the right side. Keldorf will give it to Leon Johnson. Johnson driving out across midfield to the Florida State 49-yard line is in the secondary. Freddie Jones and Vernon Crawford get tangled up and wrestle each other to the ground. Gain on the play of about 3. It'll be second down and 7.
Continuing to rain very hard in Tallahassee. Some brighter skies to the north, however.
A lot of this crowd of 80,120 have departed. The others are in rain slickers, those who were wise enough to bring them. Second down, 7. Keldorf gives it off to Leon Johnson, bounces it to the left, gets inside the 45, first down to about the 40-yard line of the Seminoles. Shevin Smith, the strong safety, tripped him up on the play, or else Leon Johnson might have still been running. As it is, he's got a first down. Nose of the ball is just shy of the Florida State 40-yard line.
That's what you want. You want the strong safety having to make a tackle. Actually, like no one to make the tackle, but you got a defensive back making the tackle on a running play in between the tackles. You know you got good blocking by your front folks.
Johnson, 15 carries, 46 yards. He's the tailback. Keldorf gives it off to him again. He picks his way to the 39. That time, going in behind Getters, Saturday, over the left guard side. So it'll be a gain of 1. Second down, 9. Ball at the Florida State 39-yard line. Peter Boulware on the tackle.
Woody Leon has now passed Ethan Horton and Natrone Means to move into 5th on the all-time rushing list in Carolina. Career 3,081 yards.
L.C. Stevens goes to the left. May Brown comes out wide to the right. Second down and long. Florida State with a 5-man front. Linebackers a good 5 yards off, and the guard, or the tackle rather, Mike Baxter on the right side came out of his 3-point stance. Courtney Mose on the call. Procedure against Carolina. Oh, my goodness, what a bad time to get 5 yards.
Yeah, against a lesser defense, you could pick that up and keep the chains moving, but against Florida State, even little mistakes are drive killers.
But you got to realize, with the nation's #1 ranked defense coming at you like it is, you want to get as much advantage as you can, and sometimes an early start off the ball is how you try to get it. Second down, 14, ball back at the 44 of Florida State. Keldorf again under center. Watson in motion to the right. Keldorf against a 5-man front. Back, here comes a blitz. And down he will go at the 43 of Carolina. Henry Crockett coming through on the 5th sack of the game, and nobody touched it. He ran right up on the line of scrimmage, and he had Keldorf before he could ever set up.
And there was a sack dance, which is illegal.
Loss on the play of 9. It will be third down and 23. Ball is back at the Carolina 47-yard line. 7:55 and the clock running. 10-0 to score. Jones and the 22-yard line. Florida State running man for man with him, Byron Capers and Sean Hamlet. So 4th and 23, and a drive that carried to the Florida State 39-yard line gets thrown back. Derek DePriest in to kick. Punted 5 times in the first half for a 41-yard average. And we've got a shaken up Sean Hamlet being helped to the sideline for Florida State. Referee Courtney Mose holding up play until Hamlet can get off the field to play. Dee Feaster has dropped deep for the Seminoles. At Florida State, blocking 1 Carolina punt in the first half, will put 10 people on the line of scrimmage. No, they're not. They're putting 4, and then they've got 6. Now Florida State is saying somebody up front for Carolina move. Greg Spires is jumping all around. Charlie Neely, the head linesman, comes in. It may have been Kay Mays who moved. Referee Courtney Mose will show us and tell us. It is a procedure penalty against Carolina. They'll back the Tar Heels up 5 yards.
It was the procedure penalty on 2nd down and 9 from the Florida State 39 that ended up snuffing this drive out. That was a play that got the Heels moving backwards instead of forward. Derek DePriest now back inside his 30-yard line. Chris Allnut on the deep snap. Gets it to him. And DePriest gets it away. Hangs a wobbly kick. Feaster will take it at the 24 on a fair catch. And that's where Florida State is going to start with the football, 1st and 10. Just 5 left in the third. 10-0 Florida State. Rick Steinbacher's on the sideline. Brought to you by Cellular One. Better coverage, better service, better value. Steiny, the Tar Heel offense, having their hands full trying to protect Keldor against the Florida State, a pair of defensive ends that are extremely fast upfield rushers.
Mick, each time the Carolina offense comes off the field, they're gathering with the coaches on the sideline. The problem is Florida State has turned up their defensive intensity 1 or 2 or 3 notches. They're being much more aggressive off the ball. On each play, the 2 defensive ends are close to jumping off sides, really teeing off, trying to get after Keldor.
Busby's under center on 1st down and 10 from the 24, and they'll run the reverse. He gives it off to Warrick, coming wide to the left side. Carolina trying to get the play stopped, and the Tar Heels do, but only after Warrick gains about 4 yards on the play out to the 28. Dre Bly getting up slowly for the Tar Heels.
Tremendous pursuit by the Carolina defense. The Tar Heels had a middle blitz on and a reverse a pretty good ball play against that if you can keep the initial thrust of the blitz out of your backfield. But the Tar Heel safeties, particularly Greg Williams, pursued well and kept that from being only a 4-yard gain.
Dre Bly shaken up. He'll have to leave. Terry Phillips has come in to replace him. Phillips, the junior from Orlando, Florida. A lot of family and friends looking on today. 2nd down, 6 off the... Actually, call it 5. They mark it at the 29 rather than the 28. Wide slot, Messam and Cooper out to the right side. Busby gives the ball off to Warrick Dunn, and he's hit before he can get to the line of scrimmage. Rick Terry was there, and so was Bonnie Holiday. Or check it, Mike Bringley, 91 rather than 90. So the loss to the 26 is of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 8. Florida State, Mick, in the first half, 5 of 8 possessions. The offense was 3 and out.
And Warrick Dunn, who's killed the Heels the last 2 years, averaged 132.5 yards a game against the Heels the last 2 times, is being completely swarmed by the Carolina defense. The thing that Dunn does is so great. He almost never fumbles.
Messam comes to the right side. Green and Cooper go to the left. Here's Busby back to throw. Gets it off to Warrick Dunn, and Dunn caught at the 25, and down he goes. Rick Terry, the Lexington senior, would not let him get away. It's another 3 and out for the Florida State offense, and Carolina may be able to get some good field position. Bly is back in, and he is dropping deep. Dre may have made a couple of mistakes in the first half, but you got to take some gambles, and Dre Bly is the kind of guy who can get it back for you in one play. List back at the 10-yard line, waiting on the deep snap from Clay Ingram. Carolina with 10 players on the line of scrimmage. Long count by the Seminoles. High snap to List, step to his right, got it. Got away a wobbly kick. Bly with a run back, takes it at the 33. Going to the far side, now trying to cut back to the middle of the field, and down he goes at the 38. He cannot get outside of his blocks. He's trying to set his blockers up, but he just can't do it, and he slips down on the wet field. Timeout, 5:21.
Club, weekday mornings at 7:10 with Chuck Finley and Dave Oakley, only on Continuous Country, 98.7 KISS Country.
Rainy day, Tallahassee, Florida. Two magnificent defenses facing one another. 5:21 to play in the third. 10-0 Noles. And we'll get it to Morgan Patrick as soon as we can. But right now, here's Woody.
1st and 10 for Carolina off its own 39-yard line. Wide slot to the right side. Keldorf will give the ball off to Leon Johnson, and nothing there against the Florida State defense. These defenses are 1 and 2 in the country. Florida State giving up only 143.5 yards a game. Carolina 163. And Mick, I think you would agree with me, and so would you, Rick Steinbacher, with our Cellular One sideline report. They played like it.
They have played lights out today. Woody, the field down here, although it's raining, is not slick at all. The drainage system they have here is working great. As long as the rain is not a driving rain like we have right now, it's going to not affect the game.
Leon Johnson, 17 carries, 47 yards. 2nd down, 10, Carolina. Its own 39-yard line. Chris Keldorf, straight T formation, quick throw out, caught by Freddie Jones, the tight end, but can he get away? He fights his way to the 43. Flag is down. Flag is down for a late hit against the Seminoles. Right in front of the Seminole bench area at the 43-yard line.
Dexter Jackson.
Here's referee Courtney Mose. You could hear him briefly in the distance. Apparently some moisture getting into the mic. Personal foul. Personal foul. Let's go back to Chapel Hill. Morgan Patrick's at our scoreboard with a quick update.
Woody, Notre Dame is on the board again. It's 16-29. Ohio State still out in front, and here's how it sounded.
And it's a draw play to Edwards, the fullback, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown.
29-16. Ohio State still in front of Notre Dame. Now back to Tallahassee.
Morgan, they've stepped off the penalty here in Tallahassee. The personal foul on the late hit against Freddie Jones. Carolina will have it 1st and 10 at the Florida State 41-yard line. 10-0 our score. 4.5 minutes left to play, third period. Wide slot, left side. Keldorf gives it off to Leon Johnson. Breaks a tackle and comes to the 38. Gosh, for a moment he almost slithered through that hole. Daryl Bush, middle linebacker, second leading tackler for the Seminoles, makes the hit. 2nd down, 7:38.
Would he bring up a very good observation, because the Seminoles are attacking the line of scrimmage so hard that if Leon could break clean, then he could hit his head on the goalpost. He'd be so open.
Whistle by referee Courtney Mose, an official timeout. They want a drier football from along the Florida State sideline. 4:04 to play third period. It's a 10-0 game, and the Tar Heels need some points. Stevens and Barnes will break the huddle to the left side. Freddie Jones is the tight end on the right. Watson and Johnson in behind Keldorf. 5-man Florida State front. Keldorf will give it off to Leon Johnson, right side, inside the 35. He goes to the 34. He'll be about 3 shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Carolina 5 of 14 on the day in third down plays. The Tar Heels converting at a rate of 48% coming in here, despite going only 5 of 16 against Georgia Tech. Florida State, meanwhile, allowing the opposition only 19% conversion.
Well, you'd love to have 7 this possession. Not many chances in Florida State territory, but any points here would be key for the Tar Heels to try to tighten things up and get some positive things going here.
3rd down and a short 2 from the Florida State 33.5. Keldorf has Barnes in motion to the formation. He will give the ball off to Leon Johnson, and he does not have it. Stacked up over the left side, 2 yards shy of the first down. So it will be 4th and 2, and a decision to be made along the Carolina sideline. Mack Brown and his staff looking at each other as the Tar Heel head coach is not sending his field goal unit onto the field just now. Tar Heels are standing, looking. Yes, here they come now. Or is this the field? No, yes, Josh McGee, the last man to come on the field. For a moment, I saw only DePriest. An earlier field goal in today's game of 53 yards blocked. Play clock is running down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Carolina's going to get caught, and they delay a game. Some confusion and late decision on the part of the Tar Heels, getting Josh McGee and the field goal unit out onto the field. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty against Carolina for a delay. And it will bring up an even longer field goal.
Might even have to punt now.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. Yeah, Seacrest is coming on, the pooch punter from Shelby. David Seacrest will try the pooch punt. Florida State will put 4 on the line. They'll drop 6 off, and Feaster will be Dexter Jackson. They're not sure the Tar Heels are going to punt. Chris Allnut to make the snap. He does to Seacrest. He bobbles it, then gets it away. That ball may carry to the end zone. It hits, and it will bounce into the end zone. Seacrest fumbled that ball in his hands, and when he did, then he tried to get it away in a hurry, and he hit one low and driving that hit and carried into the end zone. Timeout.
Kevin Tanner on 98.7 Kiss Country.
With Rick Steinbacher, Woody Durham. 2 plays have decided that so far 10-0 was the halftime score. The score remains 10-0. 2:08 to play in the third.
Florida State starting 1st and 10 off its own 20. The ball carrier Warrick Dunn, and he's hit hard. Taken down at the 22, and a couple of Tar Heels arrive late. Marcus Dow, along with Russell Davis, and the Florida State crowd wanted a late hit called on Carolina, but no call coming. 2nd down and 8 for the Seminoles at their own 22.
Florida State, Woody, averaging about 2 yards per rush. Carolina averaging 1.1 yard per rush. Neither offense has been able to do anything with either defense.
Dunn, 13 carries, 47 yards. Busby under center of the eye. Cooper, Williams, and Dunn behind him. He's got Messon split out wide to the left. Andre Cooper flanked to the right. They run the fake to Dunn, and now it's Busby bringing the ball out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Brian Simmons bumps him out, and the Florida State coaches are all over the officiating crew for not calling a late hit. Boy, one assistant coach at Florida State went racing down the sideline and jumped right up in the face of the line judge, who in this case is John Godbolt.
Well, Dre Bly made that play happen. He stayed right with the split end. Wayne Messam man-to-man. Did not bite at all on the fake into the line, and there was just no one open to throw to.
Bobby Bowden liked seeing Busby run for 25 yards at NC State last week. That run makes it 3rd and 4 at the 26. Busby back to throw. Pressure is coming, in trouble, throws incomplete, and he's decked back at the 13-yard line. Andre Purvis and Michael Pringley were all over him. So it is another 3 and out. And out of 11 possessions in this ball game, Florida State has been 3 and out 7 times, but the Seminoles still hold a 10-0 lead. They are 1 of 9 in 3rd down conversions. Sean Liss in the kick. Dre Bly is deep. Deep snap. Clay Ingram. Khalid Abdullah checking to make sure everybody's at home. Long count. Snap to Liss. Gets it away. Oh, boy, a beauty. Driving Bly back. He calls for the fair catch and makes it. I think they're going to say squarely on the 20-yard line. Gosh, that's as good as kicking it into the end zone the other way. 54-yard punt by Sean Liss. And he's only the 3rd best punter in the ACC, 20th best in the country.
When it comes to where to live at Carolina, Jody Zeugner, our statistician, and I would like to recommend Granville Towers. That's where we both stayed when we lived in college. And Granville is even better now than it was then. State-of-the-art with their convenient plus card for all student services and a choice of 4 different meal plans. Granville.
1st and 10 for the Tar Heels at their own 20. Final 65 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Still a 10-0 game. Keldorf dropping back to throw. Looking, going to go over the middle. Looked like Freddie Jones was held on the play. Looked like he was held Shevin Smith there, along with Dion Humphrey, a backup linebacker, and it looked like Humphrey had a hand on him.
Sure did. About maybe 20 yards into a 35-yard pattern, it looked like he got junction there.
58 seconds remain, third period, second down, 10, Carolina off its own 20-yard line. The kicking game, Mac Brown said Carolina would have to be consistent. The Tar Heels have not been. That's been the difference in this 10-0 Florida State lead. Keldorf, 10 of 25. Straight back to throw. Pressure coming. Dumps it off. Incomplete right through the hands of Chris Watson. He had to make a small jump to try to get it. Third down and 10. Carolina at its own 20. Keldorf now 10 of 26. It has not been an outstanding day, but remember, he has been throwing all day long against a very heavy rush.
Fans listening to me and you, Woody, and also Steiny and Morgan may be saying, well, guys, why don't the Tar Heels just take what the Florida State defense is giving them? Believe me, Carolina's trying. Florida State's defense is the type of defense that tries to pressure you all day, deny everything.
Carolina will come with 4 wideouts, 3 to the left, and the 1 to the right is L.C. Stevens. Third down and 10. Keldorf, shotgun. Back to throw, looking. Going to go for L.C. Stevens. Trying to get out there. Got it at the 49-yard line of Florida State. Fought off Troy Saunders to make a terrific catch. The ball was thrown a bit behind L.C. Stevens, but he lost Troy Saunders' mitt when he cut back toward the middle of the field, and he makes the catch squarely on the numbers at the 49.
And the ball was thrown inside of Saunders, and LC just cut right inside of him to find the football, walled him off perfectly, and made the catch. And what a courageous throw by Keldorf, who hung in the pocket, knowing he was going to take a lick, and he did, but he delivered a strike to LC.
And referee Courtney Mose in the offensive backfield saying something to a couple of Florida State tackles after they racked up Chris Keldorf once he released that ball. First down and 10, Carolina. Florida State 49. 25 seconds left in the half. Keldorf back to throw. Looking, going to step up. Throwing intended for Chris Watson, and it's intercepted. Shevin Smith makes the interception at the 23-yard line. Keldorf was hit just as he threw it. The ball was underthrown. So Florida State with the second turnover of the game by Carolina. Florida State stops Carolina's drive. 18 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, he had to throw off of his wrong foot. Threw off of his right foot, and he's a right-handed quarterback. The ball ballooned on him a little bit. Of course, it's a wet football.
Chris Keldorf, Nick, won 103 attempts between interceptions from the opening game against Clemson until that one by Shevin Smith. And for Florida State, that is only the second interception the Seminoles secondary has come up with this year. They had one at NC State 9 days ago. Florida State goes first and 10. Busby will give the ball on the draw play off to Warrick Dunn. Stiff arms the player, gets to the outside. On the right, he's at the 30, and Omar Brown brings him down at the 35. But it's a run of 12 yards and a first down with 9 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
The stiff arm of Warrick Dunn is legendary. It gets on you like a 2x4.
First down, Florida State.
First down and 10 now for the Seminoles. Up over the football, Kevin Long missed last week's game with a injury to his right knee. And before Florida State can put the ball in play, the third quarter has expired. So there's timeout on the field. The teams change ends for the final 15 minutes. And in Tallahassee, in the rain, it's Florida State 10, Carolina nothing.
Do is go back and secure the pocket after each and every pass that Chris Keldorf has thrown. Either Peter Boulware or another Florida State defender has nailed him. He's getting beat up physically. They've got to do something to give him more time in the pocket to continue to complete some passes.
Next week, of course, it's Wake Forest and Winston-Salem renewing North Carolina's oldest college football rivalry. It's a night game. We're on the air at 6 for a 6:30 kickoff. Florida State will be right here at home in Tallahassee against Clemson. That's a 7:30 kickoff. And earlier today, Clemson over Wake Forest 21-10, while Purdue kept NC State winless 42-21. Maryland at West Virginia just now getting underway, and at 7:30 it will be Texas and Virginia. First and 10 after the 12-yard run for Warrick Dunn for Florida State, its own 35-yard line. Warrick Dunn, 14 carries, 59 yards. Florida State, gold helmets, garnet jerseys, gold pants, now going toward the south goal. That's left to right across your dial. Carolina defensively showing a 5-man front with linebacker K. Mays right in the middle. He's only about 3 yards off the ball. Busby in the shotgun. Gets the snap, drops back to throw. Here comes Carolina's pressure. Throw to the sideline. Caught. And the pass was caught by Ron Dugans, the sophomore from Tallahassee, making his first appearance in the game. So the game is to the 43 of 8 yards. It will be 2nd down and 2. And the Seminole marching band in the south end zone trying to attract the Florida State offense to its end of the field.
Put in our network scoreboard. Ohio State goes to 3-0. They beat 5th-ranked Notre Dame this afternoon, 29-16.
First time in 5 losses that the Irish have lost in South Bend after being the underdog going into the game. They had won the 4 previous home games in which they had been the underdog. 2nd down and 2 off the 43. Busby shotgun, wiping his hands on his towel. Straight back to throw. Looking, being pressured. Gonna throw deep. He's got a receiver there, and it's knocked away. Intercepted. Picked out of the air by Dre Bly. He's at the 40, taken down at the 41-yard line. Pass was knocked away by Greg Williams and right into the hands of Dre Bly. That is the 3rd turnover of the ball game for Florida State. And the 2nd interception for Thad Busby, and both of them have gone to Dre Bly, who now has 6 on the year.
Keith Newman helped make that play. He didn't get to the quarterback, but credit him with the pressure for driving his man back into Busby's peripheral vision.
14:03 left to play. Carolina will start 1st and 10 from its own 42. Chris Keldorf just now getting to the Carolina huddle. He's 11 of 28 on the day, 112 yards, 1 interception. And as Mick Mixon told you, he has taken a real beating after releasing the ball. The give is off to Leon Johnson over the right side. Blast out across the 40, goes to about the, or 45 rather, to the 46, 47. Renard Wilson makes the stop on the play. And in the first half, Renard Wilson set a Florida State career sack record. He was in on a sack and a half. That broke Ron Simmons' record of 25, set 16 years ago, 1980. 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6 Carolina. The Tar Heels, blue headgear, white jerseys, blue pants, moving from right to left. Pro eye, Stevens to the right. Octavius Barnes to the left. The give is off to Leon Johnson. Stepped out of one tackle, but stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half-yard loss on the play. Boy, the Carolina offensive line is putting up a real fight, but it is tough against this Florida State defense, which comes off the ball so quick, so aggressive. Wadsworth on the tackle that time. 3rd down, 7. Ball at the 45.
Now Leon's having to make moves just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Carolina 6 of 16 in 3rd down conversions. Keldorf drops into the shotgun as the Florida State crowd gets louder. Snap from Saturday. Keldorf to throw, and it's thrown short, intended for Jason Peace, or Nay Brown make it. Jason Peace had gone deeper downfield. Nay Brown was the short receiver. And it's a 3 and out for Carolina following the Bly interception.
It's not like when teams play Dean Smith's Tar Heels. They practice doing things, but they're just not available because of Carolina's pressure defense out on the court. Carolina's had some people open, had some things that have looked good on the chalkboard, but Florida State's team speed just makes them not open when you get down there on the field.
The feaster, the Rock Hill, South Carolina sophomore, drops deep for Florida State. DePriest trying to kick it away. He's had 1 blocked on the day, and here come the Seminoles again. DePriest, however, hangs it high. Feaster moving up to the 17, makes the catch, starts back up the middle of the field. Carolina trying to get him, and they do. Tito Simpson was there after Brandon Spoon turned it back to the middle of the field. And Greg Williams also downfield. K. Mays was there. A lot of
about how good the Carolina defense has played. The thing that they've done today that they have not done ever since playing Florida State is they're being able to tackle the players one-on-one. They've been able to tackle Warrick Dunn and the wide receivers with only one guy, whereas in the past, if it wasn't a gang tackle, it was a missed tackle.
Hubert Williams and Warrick Dunn in behind Thad Busby as Florida State will go 1st and 10 from its own 21-yard line. 12 and a half minutes to play in Tallahassee. It's a 10-0 Florida State game. Dunn coming right side, leaping up in the air and right in the arms of K. Mays. Check it. It was Rock Preston, the junior from Miami, who had come in at tailback replacing Dunn. So the gain is to the 25 of 4 yards over the right side. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Clock running, 12:15 remaining to be played. Rick Terry's back in. Defensive tackle Marcus Dow. Thomasville sophomore goes out.
One statistic that really matters.
Andre Cooper and E.G. Green will go to the left side. The tight end is Kamari Charlton, who has his first career reception this afternoon. He's on the right side. I formation, Busby under center. He'll give the ball off to Rock Preston. Preston running in the secondary. He may be gone. 45, 50, 45, 40, and running him down from behind is Greg Williams at the 28-yard line. A 47-yard run for Rock Preston, and Florida State knocks at the door again. Greg Williams saved a touchdown.
It's an inside handoff to the right side. Florida State blocked it well, and the Tar Heels, like Florida State, has so many people up on the line. It's almost like a third and short yardage play. If you break that initial thrust of the defense, there are not many defensive players between you and the goal.
2 carries for Preston, 48 yards. Busby under center again, out of the eye. I believe Dunn has come back to the tailback. He has 2 wide receivers. Far side of the field to the left. The give is to Dunn. Dunn tripped up. K. May shot the gap that time. Hit him about shoe-top high. Dunn falls forward to the 27. Gets a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9. Well, you're going to have to score a touchdown and a field goal to tie. You'd have to get 2 touchdowns to win. And so the Tar Heel defense right now would like to get out of this with either no points or a field goal.
Yeah, they can't take a hit on another touchdown here. That would pretty much do it.
2nd down and 9, 27. Right in front of the south goal. 2 wide outs to the left side. Busby under center. Dropping straight back to throw. Carolina's defense. Busby to throw. End zone. Receiver there. Dre Bly knocked it away in the end zone. Peter Warrick, the intended receiver. Bly went right up with him, climbed the ladder, and batted it away. And for a moment, I wasn't sure whether it was going to be a catch or an interception. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 9 at the Carolina 27.
And so far, the Carolina secondary in this game has kept Florida State's tall, fast wide receivers from playing over the top of them. I believe we have a penalty marker down. Here's Courtney Mose, the referee from Raleigh.
Holding is the call against Florida State.
Probably accept this one.
That'll be from the spot of the foul.
Yep, and in field goal range, you'd rather give Florida State another play and move them back 10 yards. So the Heels will accept this penalty.
Right now, the umpire, Tom Locke, is walking the ball back upfield, and he'll put it down at the 38-yard line. Florida State has got to get to the 18, so it is 2nd down and 20. Back at the 38 following the holding call. Busby breaks the garnet-clad Seminoles out of the huddle. He'll line up in the shotgun. He's got Dunn and Cooper Williams beside of him. Now they drop into a straight I. Busby under center. Tosses it out to Warrick Dunn, looking for a hole, cutting it back inside the 35 to the 33. So he gets about 5 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 15. Tito Simpson, the Greenville sophomore, Rose High School, in on the tackle for the Tar Heels. 10-12, and the clock running, left to play in Tallahassee. Florida State has a 24-game non-losing streak in this renovated facility. Their last defeat here, 17-16 to Miami, back on November 16th, 1991.
Big play right here. 3rd down, about 14.
E.G. Green will come right. Andre Cooper goes left. Busby will be under center. 3rd down, 15 off the 32. Carolina with a 6-man front. Busby will fake it, wants to throw, gonna go deep. Bly looking for the ball, batted it away, intended for Andre Cooper at the 3-yard line. Andre Cooper is 6'2". Dre Bly is 5'10", and again, he went right up that imaginary ladder.
You just cannot play pass defense any better than that. Dre Bly playing like a senior. He's just a redshirt freshman. Got his right hand up in there, in between the 2 hands of the high-leaping Andre Cooper for the breakup.
So Sean List is coming on, and Carolina will get out of this without giving up any points unless Florida State fakes something here on 4th down with 9:34 to play. List will try to back the Tar Heels up deep. Clay Ingram to make the snap. He handles punts. Jerry Johnson handles every other deep snap. Long count. Snap to List, stepping to his right. Gets it, and carry on into the end zone. He tried to hit it easy, was kicking for the near sideline, and that ball sailed on him right into the end zone. Timeout on the field, 9:27 to play. Score still, Florida State 10, Carolina nothing.
Down 10-0, 9:27 to play. Carolina could still win this thing, but it's time for some good things to start happening. We'll show the highlights of this game to you tomorrow on Inside Carolina Football with Mac Brown. Watch for it on WGHP TV in the Triad, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And after the game, we'll award a Bell South Yellow Pages Player of the Game, sponsored by Bell South Yellow Pages, the whole town at your fingertips.
Vic, after 3 quarters, Jody Zortner's stat sheet shows Florida State with 183 yards of total offense, including 110 in the second half. Carolina with 152 yards of total offense, including just 51 in the second half. First and 10, Carolina. Own 20-yard line. Florida State crowds the line of scrimmage. Give is off to, Keldorf on the fake. Got to get out of there. Can he? No. Down he goes back at the 13-yard line. They were sending L.C. Stevens right down the middle of the field, but that offensive line could not hold off Renard Wilson and Greg Spires.
Carolina's got the same problem when they have the ball that Florida State has when they have the ball, and that is that the people blocking are not as good as the people rushing.
6th sack of the game by the Florida State defense. Every one for Renard Wilson now. Adds to his Florida State record. 32 minus yards on 6 sacks. Jeff Saturday, Tucker, Georgia Jr. out over the football. May Brown to the left. L.C. Stevens to the right. Split backs behind Keldorf. Keldorf hands the ball off to Leon Johnson in the secondary. 20, 25, out to the 28-yard line. It'll be close to the first down. He'll be a couple of yards shy. Dexter Jackson on the tackle. So it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Carolina. The Tar Heels have had but 2 3-and-out situations in this game. One was on the previous possession. So the Heels want to hold on to that football if they can. The clock is working against them with 8:35 to play.
And in the inner game, Woody, the Tar Heels have done everything they could do to keep Florida State off of Keldorf. They've run up inside the rushing tackles. They've used play action. They've moved the pocket around. Florida State's just darn good on defense.
May Brown right. L.C. Stevens left. 3rd down, short yardage. Keldorf. Cadence. Give is to Leon Johnson, and he doesn't make it. They tried to go right up the middle. and sometimes the best way to attack an aggressive defense, straight at it, but Florida State seems to have been ready for everything, or at least most things today. Because Florida State is a defense that will try to deny you everything. They just don't want to stop you. They want to stop you in your tracks, the Seminoles do. Derek DePriest to kick. Second 3-and-out for the Tar Heels, are 6 of 18 in 3rd down plays. Allnut on the snap. 10 players will come for the Seminoles. The snap. Somebody moved on the line of scrimmage. It's blocked. Up in the air, knocked around, on the ground, recovered, 24-yard line. Dexter Jackson, who got to one in the first half, gets to it again, and I think Florida State will decline this penalty.
Yeah, it looked like on the offense for the Tar Heels, the left side of the offensive line moved.
Obvious question might be, why didn't the whistle blow to stop the play if there was movement up front? Referee Courtney Mose. An illegal motion penalty, movement on the wing, the left wing for Carolina. So Florida State, with a second block punt, has it first and 10 at the Carolina 24-yard line.
And the reason the whistle didn't blow is because there can't be an illegal shift. There can't be a penalty until the ball is snapped. That man who moved could have been going in motion, because he was eligible to do so on the end of the line.
First down at 10, Florida State at the Carolina 24-yard line. A block punt by Dexter Jackson late in the first quarter set up the first score of the game. Scott Bentley 33-yard field goal. And then a fumble recovery later got Warrick Dunn in from 11 yards out. That's been all the scoring. Busby in the shotgun. 4-man front for the Tar Heels. Now they sneak Newman up on the right side of the line. Busby back under center now. out of the straight pro I. He'll give the ball to Warrick Dunn. Dunn hitting off the left side. Knocked down at the 20. 21-yard line. Keith Newman, the Tampa sophomore, on the stop. Gain of 3. Second down, 7. Ball at the 21. Skies are brightening now to our left, and as a matter of fact, we see blue skies. Gosh, you wish that could somehow be a good omen. It has been raining and raining hard throughout this ball game. Started sprinkling at the very outset, then got really, really heavy. Busby in the shotgun. Second down, 7, Florida State, Carolina 21. Abdullah and Warrick Dunn in the eye. Busby under center. Toss sweep to Dunn. Dunn trying the right side. Down he goes at the 20-yard line. He sensed contact then by Brian Simmons. Looked like he went down early when he might have been able to stay on his feet. Marcus Dow on the stop. Third down and 6 at the 20.
That play wasn't going anywhere anyway, I don't think, because it looked like the Tar Heels had the hole well plugged up. But Steiny said something earlier in the game, and he's right. I mean, you just cannot talk enough about how well this Tar Heel defense has played. Florida State, I mean, this is unreal. Florida State has got 6 first downs in this game.
1 of 10 in third down conversions, Mick, and this will be the 11th attempt of the game. And Florida State going to take a timeout. So the Seminoles are going to stop the clock with a timeout with a tick of the clock over 6 minutes remaining to be played in Tallahassee. We've got a timeout. Timeout. That scoreboard, the bright lights on it, high above the north end zone, still shows Florida State.
Tar Heels trail the Noles 10-0. If Carolina could somehow win this game, the Hold 'em Heels deal, a Carolina Classic combo, will be on sale all day tomorrow at Wendy statewide. And Woody, and I also want to tell you that the Carolina men's basketball team will be starting practice soon, and there are 3 exhibition games, the blue-white, and also a couple of other exhibition games. Call 1-800-722-HEAL to get tickets.
Florida State, third down, 6 off the Carolina 20. Ball on the right hash mark. 6:01 remaining to be played. It's a 10-0 Florida State lead. Busby will be in the shotgun. Warrick Dunn is set up just to his right. Busby dropping straight back to throw. Here comes a pressure over the middle, and it was deflected at the line of scrimmage by Brian Simmons. Simmons got a hand on it, so it will be 4th down and 6 at the 20. And let's see whether or not Scott Bentley comes on, or whether the Seminoles will try and go for it. They are 1 of 11 in third downs, and Bentley is coming on. He is a perfect 5 of 5 on the year, including 1 earlier today of 33 yards. This one will be off the right hash mark, and it will be 37 yards in an effort to make it 13-0. The holder is Travis Chambers. The snap is low, but he got it on set up for him, and the kick is away, and it's good. A 37-yard field goal. A 37-yard field goal by Scott Bentley. 5:52 remaining to be played in the third period.
We bring at its best. So if you want to win, you've got to listen to the pros, Exxon and Rexall, a team that can't be beat.
No one does this to the Florida State Seminoles. The this has hold them to just 6 first downs and less than 200 yards total offense. Carolina's defense has done that today. The problem has been in the kicking game, and also Carolina's 0 against Florida State. Steve, the Seminoles are too good. 5:52 left in the ball game, 13-0 Seminoles. And of course, what the Tar Heels need here is obvious. Need to bring this kickoff back and come up with some kind of big play to get back in this thing and get on the scoreboard.
Scott Bentley will kick to a waiting Leon Johnson, and it will be a returnable kick. Leon at the 1. Straight back up the middle of the field to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, breaks it to the left side, gets out across the 25, and just shy of the 30-yard line. So 5:45 remaining to be played in the ball game. It's now 13-0 in favor of Florida State, and the Tar Heels will go from that point. I think they're going to say 29, so 1st and 10 off their own 29-yard line. Keith Newman had a fumble recovery today, Mick. Tar Heels couldn't do anything. Looked like they might try a field goal, then a pooch punt carried into the end zone. And then after a 31-yard pass to L.C. Stevens, there was an interception on a pass intended for Chris Watson by Shevin Smith. Then later, after the Bly interception, Carolina 3 and out for only the 2nd time today. Now it is 3 times. 1st and 10. Keldorf, shotgun off the 29. out of the backfield, got it to Jonathan Linton. Linton lowers his head near far sideline, out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. And Sean Key, Dion Humphrey move in to make the tackle, and wholesale substitutions for Florida State defensively. The Seminoles played 54 players in the first half alone. So Bobby Bowden continues to roll players, and Carolina doing a better job also of rolling players. More experience. James Hamilton's been unable to go today because of a bad knee, so Keith Newman's been all the way in linebacker. Here's Keldorf to throw over the middle, caught by Carolina's L.C. Stevens at the 48-yard line of Florida State. Hanging on him was Samari Roll, but it's a first down for the Tar Heels.
Number 2, Samari Roll.
It'll be at the Florida State 48-yard line. Keldorf now in the game, 13 of 31 for 134 yards. In the shotgun. Carolina goes right to left. Keldorf looking. Well, now the whistles sound, and there is a flag down, and looks like there's going to be movement called up front. 19 remaining to be played in the ball game.
Dead ball. First start. On the offense. 5 yards. First down.
It'll cost Carolina 5 yards. It'll move the ball back to the Carolina 47-yard line, where it will be first down and 15. Jeff Saturday over the football. Keldorf now. Upsetting his offense. Snap to Keldorf. He's back to throw. Looking. Shoots it over the middle. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Nay Brown, and right there with him, Robert Hammond. Looked like he might have had a hand on Brown, but no flags down anywhere on the field, so it'll be 2nd down and 15.
The Seminoles came with a blitz. They disguised it well. Didn't come until late and pressured Chris Keldorf. Rick Steinbacher's on the sideline. Let's get a comment from him. Steiny.
It may seem like Chris Keldorf has gone long a lot in this game, looking for the deep receiver. The reason is the Florida State defense is doing a great job of taking away all the underneath routes, forcing him to go up top.
Keldorf, 13 of 32 for 134 yards and 1 INT. He gives it off to Leon Johnson on the draw, and Johnson could not get through the hole. Closing it up nicely, Daryl Bush, the middle linebacker. Knocked down at the 48, only a yard gain, 3rd and 14. 4:55 remaining to be played. Carolina, no huddle. L.C. Stevens. Nay Brown, go to the left. Darren Ashford out to the right, or Jason Peace to the right. Here's Keldorf to throw, and he's going to be sacked. Taken down by Vernon Crawford at the 41-yard line. 3rd and long, and Keldorf goes down. Seventh sack of the day for the Florida State defense. Like that on-rushing tide, Florida State just keeps coming and coming.
If there are two better defenses than this in the country, I'd say they're in the NFC Central.
Derek Dupriest, who's had 2 blocked today, in to kick again. Gets the snap. Hangs it up high. It's a wobbly kick. Feaster coming forward to the 21. Makes a fair catch over his shoulder. So Florida State with a 13-0 lead in the game, and the defense really being applauded by the partisan Seminole crowd, limiting Carolina to 6 of 19 third down conversions and nary a point. Florida State will get the ball at its own 21-yard line with 3:56 remaining. Immediately after the game, you'll be hearing the comments of both head coaches, Mack Brown of the Tar Heels, Bobby Bowden of the Seminoles.
Well, both teams were thinking of this as a learning experience, and I think what Carolina will know about themselves after this game is that their defense is awfully good, like we thought it was. Still needs some work in the kicking game and perhaps offensively as well.
Busby, who's gone all the way at quarterback, 9 of 17 for 65 yards. In the shotgun, now he comes up under center. He gives the ball off to Dunn, and Dunn is stopped for a 2-yard loss on the play. Back at the 19-yard line, Andre Purvis, Michael Pringley, and Rick Terry. All 3 of them were in on the play, so it will be 2nd down and 12. Well, Florida State's special teams and its defense. Well, actually, that fumble recovery by Todd Fordham when Dre Bly had picked off the pass was regained by the offense. But it's been pretty much special teams and defenses who've dominated this game. James Hamilton, the Hamlet senior, in for the first time. Busby tosses it out to Warrick Dunn, and he's knocked down by Greg Ellis. Boy, the Wendell Jr. just chops him down at the knees. So he got out across the 20, but just barely. Third down, 11. The ball's at the 20. This is a Florida State team, Mick. We could go on and on citing impressive stats about over the last 9 years what Bobby Bowden's teams have done. Only 13 losses. 6 of them have been to Miami. They've only lost 3 here in Tallahassee since 1987. 2 of those were to Miami, 1 to Clemson, and then they had the tie against Carolina.
Yeah, they're very well coached. Not just a talent factory here, although it is that. They're very well coached in what they do. Busby on third down and long gives the ball off, and the play is stopped over the right side at the 24. Warrick Dunn, the ball carrier. It's 3 yards on the play. And so it will be 4th down, and the Seminoles will have to call on Sean List to kick it away.
Sounds crazy, but the Heels could still win this game.
And now, apparently, there has been a timeout taken. Timeout called by the Tar Heels. And so the Tar Heels are going to try to rush List as best they can.
During the season, only one thing can beat the excitement of an ACC football game, the ACC tailgate party at South Square Mall. Through September 29th, South Square is hosting the biggest tailgate party ever, including a chance to take home the tailgate, a brand new 1997 Plymouth Neon, and other great prizes. No purchase is necessary, but some restrictions apply. So visit our customer service desk for complete contest details. The ACC tailgate party through September 29th at South Square Mall.
Hey, you want even more information about Carolina? Here's what you do. Go www.goheels.com. And that puts you at the...
Playing defense, but there couldn't be anything better than a defensive special team play right here. Carolina looks like they're going to put 10 guys up on the line, go after the punt, try to overload one of the gaps, try to send 2 blockers through one man's area and get to the punter.
Clay Ingram's going to make the deep snap to Sean List, who's standing at about the 10-yard line. Dre Bly is deep at about the 36 of Carolina. Tar Heels with, indeed, 10 people on the line of scrimmage, although Robert Williams is going to try to check one of the deep cover people. It's a high driving kick. Here comes the deep cover guy, and Bly makes the fair catch. That deep cover guy was Troy Saunders, who had gotten by Robert Williams and sped down the field. So 2:17 remaining to be played. Carolina will take over 1st and 10 at its own 30-yard line.
Florida State makes the plays. That's why they're Florida State. If you're thinking run back there, just wasn't there for the Tar Heels for Dre Bly. Carolina committed all out to trying to block the List punt, and there was nobody available left to block for Dre.
Geldorf brings the Tar Heels up. 1st down at 10. 31, and we get a whistle and a timeout, I think, has been taken by Florida State. That's right. The Seminoles are going to call a timeout. The clock is stopped. Clock is stopped. 2:17 remaining to be played in Tallahassee. Hey, you want even more information about Carolina? Here's what you do. Go www.goheels.com, and that puts you at the Tar Heel Sports website on the internet. Presented by the IBM PC Factory Outlet, you can get daily updates from Woody. You can chat with other fans, and when you're outside our station area, hear live Tar Heel Sports Network game broadcasts with real audio. The IBM PC Factory Outlet features refurbished IBM equipment at low outlet prices. For more information, call 1-800-426-7255, extension 4821.
As long as there is thirst, there's always the real thing. Coca-Cola Classic is always the one. Whenever there is fun, there's always Coca-Cola, yeah.
2:17 left, 13-0 Noles, Carolina football.
1st and 10 for the Tar Heels at their own 30-yard line. Back to throw, Geldorf, and he'll be sacked for a 7th time. Ball was taken away also by the Seminoles' Peter Boulware. But the play is down at the 26. It's a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd and 14. Corey Simon coming in a reserve role, also involved in the sack. Clock continues to run as that familiar Seminole chant starts in the south end zone with the marching Seminoles, accompanied by the tomahawk chop. And Mick, defensively, the Seminoles can walk the walk. so they can talk the talk.
Yeah, they're good.
Keldorf shotgun. Second down and long. He'll throw the screen to L.C. Stevens. Makes the catch. Still on his feet out across the 30 to the 32-yard line where he really gets hammered. Gain of 6. Mario Edwards makes the tackle. Third down, 8. Keldorf, no huddle. Minute 20 to go. Tar Heels would like to get on the board, and the Boyd being shut out for the first time in 74 games. Keldorf back to throw. Now we'll throw it. It's caught by Nay Brown. He's taken out of bounds, and a Seminole defender loses a shoe. 2 yards. A good 2 yards shy of the first down along the near sideline. So it'll be fourth down and short. 13-0 with 1:05 to play, and I think the Tar Heels are just going to jack it up and try to get it, Nick.
I think so, too. Of course, in trying to protect their quarterback, Carolina misses the right guard, Brian Honeycutt, who left early in the game with a sprained knee.
Brown just now getting back to the huddle. He was shaken up on the sideline.
That was his shoe that was lost.
Oh, that's right. It was his shoe. He was not injured. He's just getting his footwear back in play. Fourth down. Let's call it 3. Here comes the blitz. Keldorf back to throw. Throws complete to L.C. Stevens, and he cannot get it at the 39. 59 seconds remaining. Robert Hammond makes the play. I beg your pardon. 3 of the last 4 possessions for Carolina have been 3 and out. And so Florida State will take over with less than a minute to go as the Seminoles will go to 3-0. Carolina will drop to 3-1. But what a terrific effort, Mick, and we're not looking for a silver lining in any dark cloud. Fact is fact. What an effort by the Carolina defense, and the offense tried as best it could against another superb defense.
Exactly. The 1-2 defenses in the country coming into this game. FSU #1 in total defense, #1 in rushing defense.
They played like it. Here's Rock Preston off the left side. Preston to about the 35-yard line. Seminoles have got 1 timeout remaining if Bobby Bowden and his staff choose to use it.
Dre Bly, Woody, was #2 in the country in interceptions coming into this game. He has 2 pickoffs in today's game, so he'll probably be the national leader Monday in INTs.
Mick, the only player I can ever remember at Carolina having more in 1 year, Lou Angelo had 8 his senior year for Carolina. He leads the Tar Heels, I think, in career interceptions with 16. Busby up under center in the I now. Second down and about 5 to go off the 34. Here's the give off to Rock Preston. Preston breaks it to the left side. Preston looking for a block, and Omar Brown rides him down at the 14-yard line. Clock shows but 6 seconds remaining. I don't know, but Florida State's not hustling the field goal unit on, and they might try to put it in the end zone, but I think there's a little bit of coaching respect on this near sideline for that guy on the far sideline who's a Florida State alumnus.
Yeah, I agree. The Noles will they won't take a knee here, I doubt, but they'll just maybe hand it off in between the tackles. And
yeah, the game is won by Florida State. It's 13-0. Busby back in the shotgun, now moves under center. And he does take a knee. The crowd, some of them will boo, and you hear them in the background. But that's one good team to another. One maybe great team to another very good team. 13-0 is the final score as the Tar Heels